the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. How's everybody doing today?
Good. Woo. We were doing our other show, Carmen. I don't know if you heard it or not.
Oh, geez, I was very scared.
I'm sorry. I was telling these guys a story, and all of a sudden I turned the music on, and I went, "Oh God, we're on. We're
going.
We're
on.
starting." Yeah.
I walked in, you guys were just like talking. I'm like, "What's going on?"
We're not even near the microphones.
Oh,
I heard F-bombs, S-bombs.
We changed the format a little bit.
No.
yeah. I'm on fire, angry right now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, no.
I'm right though, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
Who
a
are
baby.
you angry with?
I'd rather not say.
Business.
Yeah. I'll tell you later. It's not
There's
work.
people that are
related.
dumb.
Okay.
There's a lot
It's-
of people that are dumb.
I don't know if it's people who take advantage of you when you hire like my buddy Paul. Paul's a doctor and he makes a ton of money and he's got a giant house. And Paul's like, whenever I get work done in my house, it goes up by $5,000 the minute they just drive in and see my house. He's like,
Oh, I'm sure.
And I've had people come over here and do work for me, and then Paul's like, "Oh, let me send them over here," and they want to do the same job for me over there for $30,000 that they did for me for $4,000.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's hard. It's hard to deal with, and for him, not for me. But I just hate bad service. You know what I mean?
You know what? But that's the thing about bad service is bad service makes you appreciate the good service so much more. That's why I go out of my way to talk to managers, to tell people, to let them know, to recommend people. You know, Dino, when Dino came to my house and how great Dino was, you were like, I need a handyman. I go, I got him. Yep. Dino, he's great. He's a veteran. He's licensed and bonded. He's smart. He's great. Yeah, he's
one of those
something
about Dino that is like, you know how I don't know. Dino walks in my house for the first time, and this is when I lived in my old house. First thing I see of Dino, he's got a bunch of tattoos, and we got the same tattoo, the same crazy triangle one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that you don't see very often. I go, what do you got going on there? And he's like, oh, I go, I know, I have one too.
Thank God you don't say, "Why do you have my daughter tattooed on your arm?"
No,
Yeah.
no, not yet. He's on his
weird.
back, yeah. No, Dino's great, and
What's the triangle mean?
oh, don't worry about it.
Oh.
Yeah. If you don't know, you don't know. I'll tell you. It's so Carmen. I'll tell you because it's a good story. There was an episode of Mad Men where do you know what a hobo is?
Like the people that sit on the street?
Yeah, but like hobos would ride the rails. They would ride the train cars.
Okay.
And they would just travel from town to town, just living free. Some of them were just poor alcoholics. You know what I mean? But sometimes guys just wanted to have no. They wanted to have no attachment. They just would drive around. They'd roll into and they'd roll into a new town, and the hobos that were there prior to them would leave markings around to let you know, like which house had a nice woman living there that would help you out, or where you can get food.
Sometimes there's a dog.
Sometimes, an angry dog or something like that. So there was this good episode of Mad Men where Don Draper was, when he was a little kid. His mom lived with this guy, and the guy was a real jerk off. And before he left, he marked the post, and he showed the guy. He was like, "This means that there's a good woman here, and this means that there's a bad man that lives here, and something else, whatever." And I just thought that was the coolest thing. So I started reading about it, and I guess it goes back to when the Nazis were invading homes looking for Jews. They would mark the houses that were good to the Jews, that would hide them and stuff, and they would that's why they would call people marks. So anyway, I started reading about it and looking at all the hobo symbols that I thought were really cool, and the one that I have is a triangle with arms, and it means a man with a gun lives here. And that I just thought that was cool, and that's when I first started getting into guns at the time. And then I saw Dino, and Dino walks in. Dino's got the same tattoo on his arm that I had never seen before anywhere but inside books. So I just thought that was weird, but it was cool. And there you go.
I like
that's
that story.
The story. Yeah.
That is a very interesting story and a good tattoo story.
That also is a really good episode of Mad Men because it's completely outside of the normal what's going on, advertising this and that. It's a completely shift from that. But also still very interesting and good story.
Yeah, I'm watching that show every night before I go to bed, trying to remember watching it the first time. And because I'm not watching it really in order, I'm just watching random episodes.
I remember you coming in when it originally ran on TV, and you were like, "Is anybody watching Mad Men? Are you guys watching Mad Men?" And I was I think there was something else that I was watching that was up against that, or it was too late or something. I was like, no. Then finally, whenever Netflix had it, I was like, all right. Mike was always saying how great this is. I've watched that all the way through probably 3 times.
Yeah, it's the best show I think in
really
the history of television. It's interesting because when I was like 2 seasons late to join it, so I was buying them on what was that called at the time where you bought them on Apple? iTunes. I was buying them in iTunes and watching them, and we were doing afternoons. So I would be up on my phone till 3 o'clock in the morning, laying in bed next to my wife, watching episodes, and when it would end, I'd go, just one more.
Yeah.
And then it got so good that I would be driving and I'd have my phone up on my dashboard, and I'd have to see what happens next. I mean, the good thing about it was on so long that they go from having this advertising agency, Sterling Cooper, to Sterling Cooper Draper Price to I forgot D&E. They like the company changes. They change buildings. They change people.
It goes through decades.
Yeah, it goes through decades. Like it's like you really watched a real business. I found out one thing last night too. I don't want to ruin anything. Anyway, somebody may watch it, but it's a really good show, and I'm watching it again and still enjoying it.
And the great thing is it holds up because it's set in the 40s, 50s, in there. So it's not like you watch it now and you go, oh, stupid because of this.
Right.
This. No, but it's set at that time, so it makes sense.
One of the things we talk about every once in a while that I still think is so funny to me is the main character takes his wife and kids out for a picnic. And they're laying there on the blanket and they're enjoying the sun and whatever. And they're like, all right, let's get out of here. So the wife is folding the blanket and the husband just picks up the beer cans and throws them into the woods.
Yeah.
Just tosses all the
just
litter
like pick
in
up
there.
the blanket and shake it off, like all the paper plates and stuff just all on the
everything right
ground.
there.
What's the title? Mad Men. What's the title refer to?
Madison Avenue.
Okay.
They were executives. So I'll tell you this one thing. It's not ruining anything, but they're big. They're one of their big clients that they do advertising for is Lucky Strike cigarettes, and at one point Lucky Strike pulls their business, so Don Draper, the main character, writes a full-page letter in the New York Times talking about how they won't do business with cigarettes anymore because they're killing people. And his whole thing is to try and bring it. He didn't really care about it. He still smokes, but it was a move to try and get other clients in. But I was watching last night, and she goes, the next day he comes in and all the partners are furious at him because he wrote this letter and everybody's waiting to talk to him. And she said, you have messages that called. These club people called in. And he's like, what else? And she's like, oh, and a guy named E.K. Huffman called you from McCann and something, whatever. And it was just like a weird moment where he didn't say anything and he just took the message and walked away. And I thought, that's weird. So I looked it up, and the guy, I'm saying his name wrong. I don't remember his real name. The guy was a guy in real life who was in Madison Avenue, advertising guy at McCann, who wrote the original letter against smoking. So it's based loosely on real life stuff.
Right.
Oh, the show is so great.
It was really good.
I mean, and not to mention all the sex and good stuff that goes on in there.
Zuby.
Him and Zuby have a threesome.
Yeah.
With her friend, which is hot. Oh, Jesus.
Being able to drink at work, nobody cared.
I mean, they just
getting plastered.
Encouraged.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people walked around in that state all the time. Like
Me
they're
either.
all drinking. They walk from room to room, just start drinking, and they make you want to drink.
Joe does that now.
I know.
Yeah.
Joe's of that era.
Yeah.
David Spade talks about his father who drank a lot, and he goes, it used to be cool to drive drunk. Like it was like the cop would pull you over and go, oh man, I didn't know you were drunk. Like get home or whatever. You know what I mean?
You ran into a mailbox back there. Oh, you were drunk. Okay,
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, the good old days where like fell out. Yeah, so I don't know. I started watching that, and now I'm into it again. So, Gio,
Yeah.
do you want to know what a baby I am?
Yes.
I mean, I will tell you. So you Spanish, you probably know this more than anybody. What level baby am I on a scale of 1 to 10?
Genuinely, I'd probably say about a 6.8, depending on the day. Some days you could tip over to 8. Some days you dip down to about a 4, depending.
I think I'm a 13 on a scale of 1 to 10.
I was going to say
I don't think so.
much higher.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I guess some of the things that I've seen, the stuff that you are like a real baby about, it usually ends up being something where you're in the right and it's a screw up big time on their end.
I'll tell you this. I think you're right with the 13 for the baby, but it's also pretty quick. You know what I mean? Where it's you're a baby,
and then I go,
yeah. And sometimes you realize, all right, I guess it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I mean, that's the genuine. That's it. Sometimes I can blow things off, and sometimes I will carry it for life.
Because there has been plenty of times where you've told me stuff, and you're like, "Can you believe this?" And I go, "Yeah, man, I don't know."
But in the moment, it's a real big deal.
Sure.
Yeah, like I'm mad at things forever, and then sometimes I go, why am I mad at that? I don't get it. You sent me a story today that made me happy.
Oh.
And it's 100% because I'm a big baby. I will tell you, do you have any idea what it is?
I think so.
Which one?
Is it about the burger joint?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, burger guy.
Burger joint.
Listen, I don't know what you're going to say, but I'm sure what I'm going to say is similar.
Okay. All right. Good. So Gio sent me a story. I didn't even read it yet. I just saw the headline. It says Goody Goody Burger set to close in Tampa. The Goody Goody Burger is in Hyde Park. I've passed it a million times. My wife has often said, we should try that place. And I go, nope, never. I'll never go there. Do you want to guess why? Why am I being a baby?
Because somebody that did something stupid to you a long time ago owns it.
Oh, let me.
No, the Gonsmarts own it, who I happen to like very much. Their other restaurants are wonderful, and they're nice people.
I think I know.
I'm going to guess that when they did the refurbishment, there was like a party or something, and they did not invite you.
100%. 100%.
Charlie Belcher was probably there.
Drew was there,
And no invite for Mike Calta to Goody Goody.
Drew was there, and then a week later, they were like, hey, we want to bring food by? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
No.
You want to get
How do I not get invited to the opening party, and now you want to come on the #1 show and talk about your burger? By the way, nothing against those people, nothing against their burgers, and I don't even really care about the party. I probably would not have gone to the party if I was invited. I am just a big baby.
I've been there twice. I got bad service, and the food wasn't great.
Really?
That's just me.
But people should know. This is an important thing. If you're in business and you're doing some sort of business, whatever it is, and you're having a soft opening or you're having people come out to talk about it and do things, whatever, before the general public, invite Mike. He's not going to show.
Not going to come. Yeah.
And then he'll talk good about you.
Yeah.
Like that's such an easy thing to do.
Or the reverse. What's that place that I like that it pains me to eat at? The
Fresh
Kitchen.
Oh,
yeah. Fresh Kitchen.
Have such good food.
There's a Fresh Kitchen on Dale Mabry, and we Uber Eats from there sometimes. But the guy who owns it's a complete. Well, Jeff Gigande is a complete douchebag. I don't know that he owns it anymore or whatever, but the new PR guy for the one that opened near my house, they sent me an email and then said, hey, the new Fresh Kitchen's open. We'd love to come by and bring you some food. And I just deleted it. Then they wrote back the next day and they were like, hey, just circling back on this. And I wrote, I wouldn't do anything for that S-talker Jeff Gigante. And I sent it to him and they never wrote back again.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, well, okay. It gets a point across. And then
probably like, we're just a franchise locally owned.
Yeah.
We have nothing to do with it.
And I wanted to be like, P.S. I eat at your place all the time.
Now, who is that guy? What did he do to you?
He is a very successful restaurateur in the area who just can't stop talking about people behind their back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
do you want me to beat him up?
No, I don't. Yeah. I would rather you walk up to me and spit in my face than walk up to me and be like, hey, all right, great to see you. Hey, man, nice. And then talk crap behind your back. And that's multiple occasions this guy has done that to me and other friends of mine.
You'll never get that from me. I will tell you right to your face.
No, that is Galvin invented. Nope.
Yeah.
Galvin, it's the #1 thing I use. Nope. No, thank you. I have no problem at this age. And this point in my life, I have no problem just walking away from people. Sometimes you can be casually just nice to somebody that you don't like and be like, okay, cool, thanks, whatever, and walk away. But those people who go out of their way to S-talk you behind your back, like, why are you the other day you clamored to get to me to say hi and shake my hand and introduce yourself and blah, blah, blah. And I was happy to meet you. And then I find out you're doing all this stuff. I'm like, you're a piece of garbage.
And you know it's going to get back to you.
That's the thing.
To this day, the two things I am most proud of is the denied handshake at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Yep.
And then I text this to John
That
Brennan.
guy doesn't work anymore, does he?
No,
Yeah.
no, of course not. You knew he wasn't going to last. I said to John Brennan yesterday, I go, not to brag, but one of the funniest things I've ever said, and because it makes me laugh, is in my open letter to 80s movies about Teen Wolf, is throw a wolf a basketball and be prepared to be bit by a wolf. Like, the wolf isn't going to start dribbling a basketball. Why is he good? Because he turns into a wolf. I don't understand that.
He gets slam dunk.
Yeah.
That was an odd movie, man.
It doesn't make any sense.
Then it was okay that
Like if he was doing like gymnastics and he was a monkey man, I'd go,
Right.
Teen Monkey doesn't have the same ring to it, though.
And also the what was his name?
Scott
couldn't make out with Boof, but the wolf raped her and everybody liked it. Yeah.
She came out and her shirt was all ripped up and her back was,
All the hot chicks wanted the wolf.
Yeah. The bestiality with the one.
Yeah.
They're going to have to take those kids and kill it with a rock out back.
The movie was so great, they made a sequel.
Yeah. Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman's the wolf.
Which, by the way, I love the hot girl's boyfriend who's 48, 49 years old in high school.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable. You can tell that he shaved that morning and has like a 5 o'clock shadow at 10 a.m.
Those movies came out at the same time, Back to the Future, and then a couple months later they released Teen Wolf, even though Teen Wolf was done prior to Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget Michael J. Fox. He goes, "Congratulations!" He was on Letterman. Letterman goes, "The biggest movie of the summer," and he goes, "I understand you're working on a possible sequel." And he's like, "Yeah, it's been really good." And he goes, "Will you call it Wolf 2?" and just busted his balls about it, you know. Oh man, I remember seeing those movies in the movie theater, going to see Back to the Future in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Leaving there, and I was like, "This is the greatest movie I've ever seen."
Yeah, I got to tell you, there's a lot of movies that I'm sure I saw in the movie theater that I can't really remember that I did or didn't, whatever. I definitely remember seeing the first Star Wars in the movie theater. And my neighbor, Rob, was 2 rows in front of us because he was saying, and we're like, "Oh, that's Rob. Rob's there." Whatever. But my son, who was very into Star Wars growing up, we were watching, I think it was Empire Strike Back, and he turned to me and started explaining to me about Obi-Wan Kenobi and this and that, and I go, I saw the original in the theater. Like, I am very familiar with Star Wars.
We got really lucky when I was a kid because we went to Catholic school, and we'd have half days on Wednesday. We'd get out at 1:15 so that the Catholic kids who went to public school could come over there and take religion classes.
Oh, CCD, baby.
They got screwed.
Yeah.
Those kids, they had to go to a different school to learn about Jesus. And what did we get to do with that half day? We got to go to the movies because Wednesday would be premieres. Like, so all the Indiana Jones movies premiered on a Wednesday, all the Star Wars movies on a Wednesday, and we'd get to go to the matinee at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Nice.
It was great.
I remember going to see Back to the Future Part 2 in the theater, and the fact that at the end of the movie they show the trailer for Part 3 and being so excited because they didn't really have trailers, like there was no internet. So when that happened, being so excited that there was another movie coming and like what was going to happen.
How many times did you see it?
I don't even remember. I think I at least saw it like twice.
Because people used to go like a bunch of times back then.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Benji?
Yeah.
The dog?
Yeah.
I remember we couldn't get in the Benji movie. It was so crowded. There were so many people outside, and they were turning people away, and little kids were crying. Sorry, Benji, at 3 o'clock is sold out. Sold out. Go home.
Remember the Apple Dumpling Gang?
The Apple Dumpling Gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, there were some horrible movies. Herbie the Love Bug.
Oh, yeah.
Herbie the Love Bug. And
Mr.
the Bender's
Limpet.
Bears. Mr. Limpet, the fish. Yeah. No. Carmen, you don't know any of these things.
No.
Nope.
Not even close to HD. They didn't even know what HD was.
Have you watched Back to the Future?
No.
Oh, come on.
You can't make me.
it's good.
I've seen parts of it. Snore fest.
We're gonna
No.
start. We're gonna start with Mr. Limpet. You have to watch that first. Carmen, the technology is insane. The man turns into a fish, and he's a cartoon fish. You have to watch that
Yeah.
movie. I would never make you do that.
They couldn't do it with CGI or makeup or anything, so they're just like, I don't know, we'll just draw it, I guess.
Yeah.
Although I got to tell you, really ingenious, some of the stuff that they did. Do you ever see like Buster Keaton and how he would do his different things? Like whenever there was a scene where he was roller skating, and he was roller skating right at the edge of falling off the thing.
building, yeah.
But they would take a picture of the building and then they would put that over the film print. So he's just skating on the floor, but it looks like he's about to fall off the edge of the film. But it was amazing. And then they would have stuff like where they probably killed 19 people getting it right, whatever. But like the house would fall, the front of the house, and he'd be standing there and he'd go right through the window. Like the window would fall and he'd stand and look around, whatever. But it was like,
they'd have to drop the house right in the right spot.
He'd jump on front of trains and stuff. It was wild.
I didn't know that about the skating thing. I always wondered how they did that because that would scare the hell out of me just to watch.
Yeah, so they had the film over top of the actual film. It was like a photograph. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Because I saw a clip where they showed it and they showed it lay over, and I was like,
So cool.
Yeah.
I was up all night watching football last night.
So was I.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I was slow moving this morning.
I was watching football.
Real quick, can you name any of the teams that played last night?
Nope.
There was 2 games.
There was 2 games.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I was up so late. Yeah, that makes
Doubleheader.
sense. Doubleheader.
Next week too, there's 2 games.
Yeah.
I like that.
But not if you want to watch both games.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they only did this because the score was so crazy, but they were cutting back and forth.
Yeah.
They were
they
cutting
did,
back and forth, and then they'd have it up in the side
corner,
where
yeah.
they'd show.
Is Red Zone still a thing where you can watch it both at the same
Don't
time?
try to get away from the
Red Zone is,
No.
but it's only on Sunday.
Oh, I
4
didn't know
teams
that.
played last night.
4 teams played. The Cowboys.
Nope.
The Packers.
No.
The Lions.
When you're just going to guess all the
Yep.
teams on.
100%. Seahawks.
Nope.
Ravens.
Nope.
God damn, how am I not in any of these?
I mean, the fact that you guessed around them
So
is
many.
more impressive than knowing them.
Rams.
No.
Vikings.
Let me give you 2 teams and tell me who won.
Okay.
The Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
And I forgot who they
Jacksonville
played.
Jaguars.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, the Bills. 1.
Close game.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a no.
Bills won.
Bills
blew
did
them out.
win.
Bills blew them out.
I got
Blew
that
them
one
out.
right.
Man, Jacksonville's bad. They're really bad. Oof.
I mean, all I could think about was you talking about how Josh Allen's not an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
He's just smashing everybody.
He just annoys the hell out of me.
He probably completed 85% of his passes last night.
Much like Patrick Mahomes, he annoys me. So I have to say
that's
that he
why
sucks.
you say that he sucks.
He does throw a lot of interceptions.
It's not the he also throws a lot of
Yeah,
touchdowns.
that too.
He was on
What do you have,
fire.
4 in the
last night.
first half, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on fire. They pulled him. They pulled him out of the game.
Yeah.
He was doing
They're
so
like,
good.
all right, we got it.
Let
We got it
Ralph
in the
play.
bag.
Ralph never gets to play. Let Ralph in.
So I was up late watching football and counting money.
Oh my God.
It was nice. It was nice.
I did not count any money. Last night.
No.
lost a lot
So I
of
put out a good prediction 3-bet parlay for the Bills, and then also had some prop bets, which I'm not just putting them out. I take them. I had James Cook for first TD, which was plus 550.
I had that as well.
Oh, you got it, Carmen? Good.
I did. I got it in real. I just had I put the rest of my money in there, which was like $18.
Yeah.
But I won $100.
Hey.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back able
baby.
to play.
So many people will say that to me. They'll be like, listen, I'm not betting what you're betting. I go, yeah, but it's $50 more than you had yesterday or when
Yeah.
you woke up this morning. So it's great. And then I jumped onto a 4-bet parlay in the third quarter of the Commanders and the Bengals game.
I saw that. That's crap.
By
I
the way,
missed it.
Commanders, Randy Allen, who is a Commanders fan, I was talking to him and I go, I think your Commanders are going to be. He goes, you better take 30 points for them and this, that. They're not going to win. And I was like,
They played so bad the first 2 weeks, especially against the Bucs. But man, and Jaden Daniels.
But the Bengals are 0-3.
He
The
looks
Bengals
really
can't
well.
figure out. I think the Bengals are going back to the old Bengals.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't watch that game.
it was the best
because-
performance of a rookie ever
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
football.
Dude, he danced into the end zone.
Yeah, he only missed I think 2 throws.
Yeah. He did really well. Everything.
I can't appreciate either one of those logos. They were both maroon and brown or yellow. And I just didn't like it. It was unattractive.
Bring back the Redskins.
But yeah. So
Although I do like the Commanders, they have like that kind of flat helmet.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
it almost looks like Iron Man.
There's a couple teams that have that this
Yeah.
year that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I like
The
that.
Vikings I was watching, their
Yeah.
helmets are like the flat color.
Did you see the group that wants to bring that name back?
Yeah.
It's a native group. Yeah,
but
that wants some.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think they should just give that up. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait another 20 years until something changes again, then they go, oh, we're bringing it back.
Well, I guess their whole argument was that the logo, that the person that they used was like an actual chief, and they're
Yeah.
like, it pays an incredible amount of respect to that guy that was
Sure.
part of our group. Yeah.
I talked to my ex-girlfriend, my ex-fiance,
Oh.
last year sometime, and she was like, what are you doing? And I said, just watching football. And she said, I gotta go remember how she said it. What football team that is raping the indigenous people?
Brother.
Yeah.
I thought it was great when they were just called Washington Football Team.
That was great. And how many times the announcer said, Redskins, the football team.
Washington Football Team.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Kind of like this hurricane where there was it called IT-75 or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. It's not real until it has a
I-9,
name.
was it?
It's not real until it has a name. I'm telling you now. Although, in all seriousness, it looks like this thing is going to bring some trouble, not necessarily straight on hurricane damage, but we will be in the cone and we will experience rain and flooding. So I would definitely recommend being prepared. And as you know, we partner up with Fox 13 for all the weather stuff. We'll be giving you updates. I did get a note from Hillsborough County yesterday as far as schools go, saying that schools are still planning on being open and business as usual. So it's not at that point yet. But if any of that stuff changes and any breaking weather news, we will have all that here on the radio station.
I have some information coming up in the news about it. By the way, it's called PTC 9. That is for potential tropical cyclone 9.
It was something else yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. Now it's potential tropical cyclone, but before it was like one they were just keeping an eye on, so it had an I name, something.
Keeping an eye.
Yeah.
This will be Helene.
Oh, it will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
When it becomes a tropical storm.
If it forms into a hurricane
interesting.
or a tropical storm. Yeah.
Well, late in the season for a tropical storm or a hurricane. So
By the way, got my Metallica tickets
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah.
What? Pretty good tickets too. I was surprised because I had early, so I'm not a legacy member, but I'm a fan club member, so I got to buy tickets at noon yesterday.
Floor?
Huh?
floor.
Well, general on sale goes on sale on Friday. I didn't want floor.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
looked at Snake Pit because in the middle there, that circle, and they were very proud of those tickets. So I said, maybe not that.
How much?
I think they were like $4,000 to $6,000.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
I feel like the stage at these stadium shows is very, very high up.
right, and
Yeah.
that's what I thought too. So I am level 1, row 2.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
perfect. I actually had row 1, and then whenever I put them in and did the thing, whatever, they go, these are no longer available. I'm like, panicking and stuff. But whenever I first got on the thing, it has you, and you can get on 10 minutes early, and it says it'll refresh and let you know. So it's like, bloop, you're in line. There's 5,983
geez.
people in front of you, and I go, oh no, how many does that hold? And people had already bought tickets, whatever. So whenever it came up, there was some available. A lot less than I thought as far as price goes, because you're getting
2 days, right?
you're getting 2 concerts, you're getting 6 bands, and my tickets, I'm going to tell you right now, for 2 tickets was under $1,000.
Wow, that
Yeah.
seems great.
Yeah, I was very surprised.
Listen, I am not.
I would have thought $1,000 a night.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Like,
I was.
Yeah.
that close and
And I
everything?
was willing to spend. I was like, all right, it's Metallica, it's Suicidal, who I love, it's Pantera. I was like,
That's 3 Schwarber home runs worth of tickets.
I was like, $2,000 I'll be comfortable with. Anything more than that, it's going to hurt me as I do the click, whatever. But, not too bad. By the way, now I have to find out if I can sell the Friday ones or if I can
Oh, you don't want to go to both days?
gift those.
Maybe
to
I'll
somebody.
buy those
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see whether I can, how that works.
They
I'm
make
not
you do
really
too,
excited
right?
about it yet.
They make you do the both nights. Yeah.
So right now the on sale is going to be both nights, and then I think later on they'll have one or the other, and then I don't know about resale, how they do that, how that works. So I'll have to find out.
First time in 16 years in Tampa, so there's going to be a lot of people that never got to see Metallica before. There's going to be people who haven't seen them in 16 years, so it's a lot of people who want to go.
Yeah, which I wouldn't be mad. I got to tell you, Ice Nine Kills, I just not a fan, and Limp Bizkit, okay, and I saw them down in Rockville, whatever. But I may just go to see Metallica 2 nights. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
But
Yeah,
if I can, we'll figure something out.
Let's not just brush over that this is a Limp Bizkit show. Come on.
Stadium Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
Last time
right.
I saw Limp Bizkit was in the tiny little Hard Rock
Yeah.
Theater, and then the time before that was Woodstock.
Listen, they do stadiums, man.
I got to tell you though, if you're putting together a show for me, Suicidal, Pantera, and
Oh,
Metallica,
yeah.
I mean, good grief, that's great. And speaking of little shows, like I see Suicidal in tiny places,
Yeah.
man.
Well, right now I'm not going. I don't. It's,
You're out?
Well, it's too hot. It's too hot.
Yeah, I wish they would have done it like in the cooler months.
I'm not going until a suite pops up. When a suite pops up, then I'll be like, all right, I'll go.
Hell
Yeah. I would be very happy sitting in a suite drinking a Bud Light watching the Metallica show. That would make me happy.
We saw Metallica together last time they came through, and that they were at Amalie. Remember? And then we were going to go down to get in the pit.
Yes. That was 16 years ago.
And that was in a suite.
We were in the suite.
Yeah.
And we went down there in the pit. You're right.
Yeah,
I do remember that. Yeah.
I feel like in a suite, you'd be so far away, though.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I guess it's on the TVs and stuff,
but it's also you can see really well.
And then there's you're watching through glass and everything.
I went to go. No, they open it up. They open the
do?
windows. Yeah, I went to go see U2 in a suite, and that made me. That was perfect. I got to sit far away from everybody and just chill out and watch it.
There has never been a better show for me than Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax played over in Orlando at House of Blues. And I knew somebody over there, and we got to, or Hard Rock Live, I guess it is. We got to sit up in the balcony with nobody else, and there were big, recliner seats, air conditioning, and our own waitress. Yeah. I was like, let them be down there and be dirty and sweaty. We will sit up here.
Do you believe that's the same place I saw Van Halen?
Oh, crazy. Yeah.
I saw Metallica. It was Summer Sanitarium with Limp Bizkit over at the Camping World Stadium probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
How many times have I seen Metallica? I've seen Metallica with Queensryche. I've seen Metallica Monsters Rock. I've seen Metallica.
I've seen it 3 times.
Did you see the picture I put up of me and James Hetfield?
Yeah.
I remember that like it was yesterday. I was wearing a tan polo shirt with a zipper in the front, and I was wearing jean shorts.
Oh,
my God. I don't know what I was thinking. They had a thing at the time where, like, if you were in the suite, you had to dress like nice.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
I mean? So I had to wear like a collared shirt.
I saw somebody posted on there. They said, at first, I thought this was Sheamus from WWE because he had the weird Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
I got a picture of Metallica. I got to try and find.
Yeah. I have a picture.
I probably look very young and slim.
Yeah.
I was with Guido at the time, and I have a picture of me, Guido, and Kirk Hammett, and Guido and Kirk Hammett look exactly the same. They both had greasy Italian curls. You know, it was funny.
Super nice guys.
Yeah, they were great. Except Newstead.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, when I met them, it was Trujillo.
Yeah.
Newstead. They said, it was a small group of people in a hallway. They brought them in and they said, "Hey, the guys are going to come in. They'll sign some stuff, take some pictures." And I was like, "Cool." And they're like, "Jason doesn't like flashes. It hurts his eyes." And we were like, "Oh, James and Kirk and Lars like flashes, but it's so dumb."
Yeah, they stopped to talk to every single. We remember they brought us in. We're in a kind of a circle, and they went around and came in one at a time. And they're sitting there talking and stuff. And I was like, "All right, you can move along, Lars." We were.
Sorry to bother you.
It was almost kind of awkward because they were really. They genuinely seemed like they wanted to be there.
Before you were here, it was Metallica, Creed, and Kid Rock at Tropicana Field.
Oh, yeah.
And I went there with Wells, and Wells was friends with Lars at the time. And we sat on the stage, on the side, right on the stage, 10 feet away from them. And there were all these pyro things going off around us. Amanda was miserable. I'm like, I am sitting on stage for a Metallica show during the Metallica. I'm sitting on stage, and Amanda kept going, "Can we please leave?" And you shut your mouth, woman.
Dude, it reminded me. I saw Metallica with Godsmack in Pensacola, and when they go into one and they start doing all the helicopter and the explosions, all this. It felt like my chest was going to explode. I'm like, are we really at war? What is going on? This is crazy.
Dave's wife leaned in and said to the guy, "Are there going to be any more explosions?" And he goes, "No, that's it." And then 2 seconds later, boom, right next to us. I was like,
that had to have been the same tour that I saw because I saw Metallica with Godsmack in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
They probably did Pensacola the next night or the night before.
Oh, man. Yeah. All right, we got to get all these trips down memory lane.
Yeah, love it.
Let's get this show moving. We got a lot of things happening on the program today. Nick Radner, who is a guy that was on season 2 of Outlast. Is it 1? I watched him out of order. So no, he was on season 1 of Outlast on Netflix. New show that I started watching that I just love. It's about surviving by yourself and then in teams in the woods in Alaska. It's a really good show. And turns out Nick lives right here in the Tampa Bay area, so he's going to join us at about 8:15 this morning. Dom will be here to take your legal calls. Am I missing something else, or is that it today?
That's it.
Okay, good. We will take a break and come back and get right into Sporcle. We got stuff to give away. Carmen will tell you what that is. We'll do it next on 102.5 The Bone. I know Fox 13 is our weather partner, but I'm also watching Amanda Pappas give out the hurricane information.
Oh, all right.
Just to be safe.
Yeah.
You can't stop me from taking care of the people of Tampa Bay, Galvin.
Have all the sides covered.
Yep.
Now that you and
Front side.
Amanda are back together.
Well, I still don't know how she feels about me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. No, it's important, I think, for us to gather all the weather information just to let our listeners know. And that's what I'm here to do. We have stuff to give away today, Carmen. What is that stuff?
We do. So we have tickets for Stained, Hootie and the Blowfish, the Marley Brothers, TSO. We have our last pair of Thomas Rhett tickets. Mm-hmm. Nicki Minaj is coming to town.
Yeah.
And back-to-back weekends, the Mike Calta tailgate.
I feel like you're mocking it. I don't feel like you're really giving it the... you're not making it sound as exciting as the rest of the stuff.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I was like, I don't know.
Try again.
No. Your little mouth lasers are more than enough.
So I was informed by the great gorilla Mike Olivero. I was saying about, did you know that Collective Soul was going to be at the amphitheater?
Yeah.
It is Hootie and the Blowfish, Collective Soul, Edwin McCain.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
I like Edwin McCain. I don't know if I'd go see him again, but I like him. Well, I mean, I've seen him in a small club.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm trying to think. I know he has that one huge song. Does he have any other songs that were popular? Or?
He did. He had a handful of songs in that whole
Because I know that
Soul era.
remember we went through that where we were like 1-hit wonder, and then we're like 3-hit wonder.
Yeah.
They had more.
My number one violation was ELO.
Yeah.
I thought Hootie was still doing solo country stuff.
Well, he was, but it's probably
goes back and
it's
forth.
probably some anniversary thing for the Hootie and the Blowfish. So they're like, "Hey, 40 years, let's go, let's make
Yeah, the
some money."
Blowfish are like, we haven't
Yeah.
eaten in like a month. Dude.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
That drummer was already skinny to begin with.
Yeah.
Like he needs to, get some meals.
Help us out. All right, let's do it right now with a little bit of Sporcle. Here we go. Carmen is the keeper of Sporcle. Pap is your judge and scorekeeper. Carmen, what are we playing today?
All right. I feel like this may be a little challenging, but
I'm smart.
we're gonna try it.
I feel that every day.
Today we're gonna play Which Letter is Silent? Can you name the silent letter in each word? It's a little easier because I can see the word, but like I said, we'll try it. I feel like you guys can do it.
Thank you.
Your first one, gnarly.
G.
Spanish. Fondue.
E.
G.
E. Mike Calta. Cord.
H.
Galvin. Jeopardy.
E.
Oh.
Spanish. O. Diaphragm.
H.
P.
Did everyone answer?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Diaphragm.
Diaphragm.
G.
What is the silent letter? Yes, Galvin. Design.
G.
Mike Calta. Khaki.
H.
Galvin. Psoriasis.
P.
P is correct, Pap.
Galvin.
Oh, come on.
Very good, Joe. Thank you.
Your next one. Viscount.
Q.
H.
E.
Viscount.
There's no H.
U.
S. There's an S in there.
All right.
F.
Nope. Behalf.
L.
B.
L. Spanish. Indictment.
C.
C.
Mike Calta. Bread.
R.
A.
A.
R. I'm not sure I know how
Galvin.
this works.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Because she said behead and you said
I know.
B. And that's the first sound that's made in there.
I don't think I'm doing this right.
Point out.
Silent letter. Can you name the silent letter? Debut.
B.
T.
T. Galvin. Doubtful.
B.
B.
Mike Calta. Answering.
W.
Mike Calta. And Pap. We're halfway there.
Gio is not on the board. Spanish has a total of 3 points. Michael with 5, and Galvin is your leader right now by 1. He's winning with 6.
Close game.
All right. Silent letters. Can you name the silent letters in the words? Your next one, snooze.
Z.
O.
Snooze.
E.
Yeah.
E. Mike Calta. Mnemonic.
P.
H.
I know what it is now.
Mnemonic.
E.
M.
M. Tricky because there's 2 M's.
Yeah.
No point.
No point. Slipknot.
K.
Spanish.
Ooh, Judge.
Spanish.
All right.
Make them up.
Handwriting.
W.
Mike. Debris.
T.
B.
R.
What'd you say? No.
Everybody
S.
was wrong.
Okay.
S.
S. Wrongful.
G.
W.
Oh.
W. Spanish with the stutter gets. Escargot.
T.
Spanish.
That was not
Didn't
me.
answer.
That was Galvin.
Thank
Then
you.
Galvin.
Maybe it was me.
I
it was
said
whoever
wasn't
was before Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The answer. Your next one. Silent letters. Thumbprint.
B.
Galvin. Honesty.
H.
Geo.
Hey.
You got it.
Oh, it's the silent letter.
Yeah.
The whole time.
H. It's a silent letter.
Glisten.
T.
Spanish. Condemn.
M.
M.
What'd you say, Galvin?
I didn't say anything.
Oh.
I say N.
What'd you say, Mike?
N.
No,
I said
you
M.
said M. You both said M.
Yeah, we both said M.
Stop
I
it,
did say
liar.
They
Okay.
Their liar face.
Galvin.
I would never have too much integrity.
Point Galvin.
Point Galvin. Hymns.
Why?
M.
E.
N.
Hymns.
N.
N.
Oh.
Thank you.
Spanish. Guilt.
U.
Mike. Building.
N.
U.
You. Mike Calta.
Double Udis.
Yes, I did. And Pap. We're on the last 3.
Tight.
Gio has a single point on the board. Spanish has 7, and Mike and Galvin are both tied with 9.
Ooh. I like it.
I don't.
All right. Silent letters. Can you name the silent letters? Last 3. Here we go. Wrench.
W.
C.
W.
Shh.
Spanish.
Now we're all tied? No, you need one
one
more.
to tie.
Yes, 8.
Pterodactyl.
P.
Galvin. And your last one. Phlegm.
P.
G.
G.
Legum.
Flug 'em.
Your final score: Gio with that single point, Spanish with 8, Michael with 9, and Galvin is your triumphant champion today. He won with 11.
Kachaya! Woo! Try my 2025.
I don't like it.
All I do
Like
is
it
win.
all. Galvin, pick a line.
All I do is win. Line 4. Line 4.
Good morning. Who is this?
This is Brandon.
Brandon. Galvin, the winner, got you a prize today.
Let's go,
I'm going to put you on
Brandon.
hold. Carmen will get you during the break. Brandon's a new. It's the new Karen. It's the name you don't want to have anymore, right?
Whoa.
Not your fault. Not your fault, Brandon. I'm just teasing. Stand by. Carmen will grab you here during the break, and we'll hook you up. Okay, buddy?
I appreciate you
All
guys.
right, thank you, man. Galvin, what do we have coming up in news?
Coming up in news today, we have it's all ball bearings nowadays. Should I stay or should I go? In Dissatisfactory.
Oh. All right. Galvin has your news. We'll take a quick break and jump right back into that next. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone.
Do we have a name for whenever they take a song like this and then they do it with different lyrics and stuff? Are they calling it anything? Because it's not really a cover.
Why? Who's doing that?
They have Rebel. It's a country artist does it, and it's
Oh,
a different,
yeah. We played that.
Remember we were talking about it?
Yeah. I don't know what
I
that's
think it's called a sample because you sample
No.
the music.
Yeah, but that's more with hip hop and rap, whatever you're doing it. But this is like a band is actually playing the song, and they're just changing the lyrics and stuff.
It's like a reboot.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if they have a name for it yet, or if we can come up with something. Let's get it going, guys.
Yeah.
Get it
I like
going.
reboot.
Reboot?
Yeah. Boots. We got news with Galvin we're going to do, then we're going to talk to Nick from Outlast at 8:15. And I will blow out those Metallica tickets sometime during the show. I may just be like calling right now, so pay attention. I can't. I may
why
just,
would you do that?
Because I got to remember that. No, I'm not saying don't call in. If you call in and ask for them, you definitely won't get them.
You could also we have James saying it too. So if
You may hear James say it. How do you like that? But pay attention because it will happen this week. Right now, time to check in with Galvin. He's got today's news.
And now, news with Galvin on the Mike Calta Show.
What do we have in news today, Galvin?
Today's news is brought to you by Pelt Shoes. I was thinking about it yesterday. I'm like, I haven't got any new shoes in the last week. Maybe I need to go over to Pelt and get some new shoes because they have all the different styles and brands you're looking for. Whether you want some Hey Dudes, you need some Nikes, you need some of the Skechers. Don't sleep on the Skechers. I like those a lot. They have all the different styles and brands you're looking for in stock, ready to go. You don't have to wait around for shipping. You're not going to get the wrong color. You're not going to get the wrong size because they have the Pelt Shoe Fit experts in there, and they have the 3D foot scanner going to give you all the information. They have 6 locations throughout Pinellas, Sarasota, and Fort Myers. So if you're looking for some new shoes, stop into a Pelts today. Make sure you tell them Galvin from the Mike Calta Show sent you. So Governor Ron DeSantis issued a state of emergency on Monday for most of Florida's 67 counties ahead of potential impacts from what is forecasted to become Hurricane Helene. Citrus, Hernando, Hillsborough, Manatee, Pasco, Pinellas, and Sarasota counties are all listed under the governor's state of emergency. The National Hurricane Center is currently monitoring potential tropical cyclone 9, which formed in the Caribbean Sea and is expected to become the season's next named storm. The NHC issued a cone Monday showing where the forecast model expects the system to move. PTC 9 is expected to strengthen over the next few days. If it reaches 39 miles per hour, it'll become a tropical storm and get the name Helene. Issuing a state of emergency allows the state to execute its emergency management plan and carry out necessary logistical rescue and evacuation operations.
I say it misses us and it heads towards the Panhandle, and that we just get typical rain. We've had Category 3 hurricanes roll through here, and we're like, "This is it." It's not that big of a deal.
Don't brush it off.
I'm not saying I'm not jinxing it.
Jinxie McJinxie.
I'm just saying that I think that it blows. As far as Tampa Bay is concerned, we just get rain and wind, and it's just a typical Tuesday for us. But the Panhandle looks like it's going to get smashed if this thing speeds up a little.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it for sure and give you guys all the updates.
Now, is your brother and your dad, are they right in the path of that?
Yeah. I got to tell you, when I lived in Destin, it seemed like every hurricane that came through Florida, they're like, yeah, it's probably going to miss. Oh, it's going right to Destin. It's going exactly right to Destin. Yeah. We got hit a lot up there. I don't know, something about it.
Are you showing hurricane maps in my shot? You have to let me know so I could do one of these.
Yes.
And I could point to it. And I go, if you see the cone of disaster is going to come this way.
Yeah, but your hand's disappearing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that technology.
No. I mean, it was
Mike.
created like in the 70s, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. I thought that was pretty cool. I was watching it.
Joe was created in the 70s. 1870s.
Yeah.
I wish it was created in the 70s.
much earlier.
Joe.
Yes, Michael.
I have to give you some credit.
Oh.
Joe stayed here and produced the podcast with me and my wife yesterday.
Is that what you're calling it?
Yes. What, you don't like that?
Well, it's called
No,
a podcast.
I'm kidding.
It's
I
me
said
and my
What
wife.
you meant?
Yeah, I like to keep it simple.
How did it go?
I think it went way better than she told a story that made me laugh out loud.
Oh.
Yeah.
She told a story about I'll just leave it for the podcast, but she went to, much like I handed the one-armed drummer from Def Leppard a bottle of water
Right.
and watched him open it with his teeth.
Yeah.
She did something similar to a clerk at Publix. A lady with one arm
Yeah.
that she stumped
Yeah.
the situation. Yeah, it was good. I had no idea. So
Now, is that available only on YouTube, or is it?
It's only on YouTube for now. And
Yeah, Mike has a potty mouth on podcasts.
what do you mean?
I can say bad words.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit of it this morning when I got in, and because I was in this situation, I got very nervous when you were cursing, and I went to go dump, and then I had to remember that we weren't live on air,
Yeah.
but I was like watching it, and because your setup is the exact same, but yeah, you dropped some curse, Bob, not anything
Well,
crazy.
she got me.
but-
She you start getting in a good conversation, you
Right.
forget where you are. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
First
you
time
have a intro or any theme music? Or
we'll have that all hopefully by next Monday. Yeah.
Need any imaging? I know.
I'm
that.
sure I will. I'm sure I will.
You do some stuff.
I was gonna say they started off not being like potted up in queue.
Oh, really, Joe?
Well, Michael,
really?
You didn't want to wear headphones when we started.
That's true.
And, you couldn't hear that your mic wasn't on.
Yeah,
So
it was
I had to let him know.
my fault. It was my fault.
I think the bad words pushes you down the algorithm, though.
Oh.
Just
Only-
saying bad words?
I think so. Yeah.
In the
because it's not friendly for everyone.
A lot
Right.
of people I notice, like you'll watch videos and they have the curse words beeped out because
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're allowed to do it, but they're not going to push you in the algorithm.
Listen, I'm not doing this to be high in the algorithm. It's there.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it, watch it. I don't care.
We got-
I was just
we
saying,
got-
just limit a little bit, especially in the early, because I think they really only monitor like the first like 5
Yeah.
minutes type of
Oh,
thing.
really?
But then after the 5 minutes, they like because it's the people of YouTube. You know what I mean?
Keep my dirty stuff to the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
All right.
won't suggest your video to anybody.
Right.
Oh, well, I don't care. Well, how to do, Joe?
we have over 2,000 views.
Oh.
Yeah, you did very well.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
good.
All right,
Pretty
good.
And-
It was fun.
Did you like? Are you gonna do it again?
Yeah. Monday. Every Mondays at 11:30.
Carmen, let's play a clip.
No.
What?
Too many dirty.
Too many curse words. Yeah, I don't live. No.
Montana.
Can I tell you what I did talk about?
Oh, yeah.
We talked about the transgender on 90 Day Fiance and why I can't get past the. I can't get past. I'm fine if you want to be called a woman. I have no problem with that. I respect that, and I will treat you like a woman. But I can't mouth kiss you. And your inside of your mouth and the inside of your BH is still a man's.
Whoa.
That's the truth. Am I wrong about that?
So is your penis.
Some,
Wait a
some
minute.
people, some people don't have that.
Oh.
And transgenders, they don't have that
All right.
anymore. Yeah. They do the
I wonder what the percentage is of people who are trans that get the full operation, and people
Yeah.
are
Because
just
it's
like
expensive.
people are just like, yeah, I'm wearing makeup and a dress and grew my hair out, but still got my disco stick.
Yeah.
Gonna marry
And I'm
Joe.
not shaving the beard.
Yeah. Oh, that's wild. Can I tell you two things? Like, again, I also don't care what you do. Do whatever you want to do. Whether I have to go along with it is a different story. Guys that have the makeup and long hair and the beard is one of the most disgusting looks in the world. And they may look at me and go, yeah, you're disgusting. And, we're probably not going to kiss. That's fine. That is super disgusting to me. And you know what else? Just, it is so gross to me. Fat girls with bare feet.
The skinny girls bare feet. Okay.
Skinny girls bare feet. I'll kiss them, Carmen.
Yeah.
I'll kiss them.
Oh wait.
I got no problem with the feet.
Sweaty lady.
Yeah, Fat girls bare feet. But here's also the thing about it is they try to be dainty. You're not
Yeah.
dainty just because you're barefoot. You goddamn shaved bear.
But listen, I will tell you as a female, like when you go barefoot, it is just such a natural thing to start tiptoeing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why or
twinkle
what that
toes.
Well,
what
can
that
I-
is about, but it's just such a natural thing. Like when you don't have shoes on and like let's say you're at a club and you're wearing heels and you're walking to the car.
Oh,
But like if you're out in that
Trash.
situation,
trash.
oh my god!
It is kinda
Can I
trash.
tell you something? So, Carmen, that's a good point. A lot of people are like, when I run, I heel strike or I do this and it hurts my knees. Take your shoes off, run in the grass. That's how you're supposed to run.
Mm-hmm.
Your feet will naturally go that way because you're not wearing shoes. Shoes protect so much that it does where you'll heel strike or do
Right.
that. But if you run in the grass, you're going to strike usually mid-foot right on kind of the ball of your foot. And that's how you're supposed
I'm
to
a
run.
heel striker.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
that's how I
because
run.
of years of wearing shoes
Yeah.
that have the thick cushion and stuff.
I used to be a toe runner because of gymnastics.
Yeah,
That's because
and that speed that
Yeah.
you're trying to get as much speed as you can for the
And the
pommel horse or
short.
whatever the thing is.
And when you run on your toes, it goes ding, 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 ding.
Vault.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it is. Yeah, pommel
That's
horse.
also
is the other
enjoying.
one. Yeah, make the little Fred Flintstone.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Montana shut down their electronic voting system for military and overseas voters when someone pointed out that Kamala Harris wasn't on it. Wasn't even included. The only options for president that they had were Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They have since corrected it.
Oh,
Smart.
good. Okay, good.
I
Gotta make it
mean-
fair for
Please
everybody.
keep it.
What's the worst that could happen when you use electronic voting systems?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
well, also, I don't think that's computer's fault. That's
Yeah.
somebody who didn't typey
Yeah.
in her name. And
Yeah. Maybe
Make
it
it-
wasn't an accident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All
So, For Monday Night Football last night, Spanish let us know it was doubleheader. The Bills destroyed the Jaguars 47-10. Josh Allen threw for 263 yards and 4 TDs, so much so that they took him out and put Trubisky in, and they're like, you take the rest. Who cares?
Every time Josh Allen threw a touchdown, I heard Gio go, Josh Allen's not an elite quarterback. And then I heard Monica go, yee.
Yeah.
I still think he sucks.
What did some guy said? I forget what it was. Something about you saying that Josh Allen's not an elite quarterback. And I go, I forget what it is. Never mind. I ruined it.
Elite quarterbacks win championships. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, it's early, buddy. And
He's
if
Patrick
that kid,
Mahomes' little bitch.
Oh, my
That's the
God.
facts.
Wow.
if he could play half as good as he played last night, the rest of the season, I think they're in good shape.
They can't get past the Chiefs.
Listen, thanks to this, Gio, they're making it. I'm betting on them.
please.
Going all the way.
Please do. I'll laugh in your faces when they blow it again and the Chiefs just stomp them and get another ring. Josh Allen stinks. Can't win the big game. Beat the crappy Jaguars.
They really
The
are.
0-3 Jaguars.
Let me just tell you, I hate Trevor, whatever his face is. face.
Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
his face and that dumb hair.
Yeah.
I want to like in the locker room, we would pull him by his hair.
Oh, when he got sacked and he looked at his guys like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" I would have punched him right in the face.
Yeah.
I would have punched him right in the face and said, "Yeah, throw the ball faster, idiot." How about that? And then the Washington Commanders beat the Bengals 38-33. QB Jaden Daniels, the number 2 pick in the 2024 draft, led the Commanders down the field for touchdowns on each of their first 4 full drives to build a 28-13 lead midway through the third quarter and held off the Bengals from there. The former Heisman winner from LSU showed off his dual threat ability to win. He tossed 2 TDs and ran for 1, finishing the night 21 of 23 for 254 yards while running for another 39 on 12 carries.
21 of 23.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I feel like the Bengals are kind of falling out of that top tier
For sure, right?
as far as teams go.
Because, listen, Bengals fans, I'm a Steelers fan, whatever, but you guys were doing good. You got
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, and that came in, and I was like,
Jamar
Bengals.
Chase.
Yeah, I'm like, Bengals are somebody to deal with and stuff. But now I feel like they're going back to the old Bungles.
They went to that Super Bowl.
Did Joe Burrow frost his tips?
Yes.
He did, right?
Yes.
I thought that can't be natural.
No.
Who does that anymore?
I don't know.
Is it coming back in style? Because if
30
it
years,
is,
right?
But
That's
that's
what
the
they say.
thing. That's the thing is young kids do all kinds of mullets. Now you're frosting tips.
Yeah.
Next they're going to be having perms.
It all comes back around.
have you seen Joey, my son?
No, what's he got going on?
Grew his hair out long, but not down long, up long. Like
Okay.
he's
Like a fade?
Like Kid and Play?
kind of like Kid and Play. And the other day he was like, I gotta get a haircut. I go, okay. And he came back and I went, did you get a haircut? And he goes, yeah. And I can't even tell. Like,
Just
it's
the sides?
long.
No.
It's like, I don't know.
I remember when he had the long Troy Polamalu hair.
That I love.
Yeah.
That I love. He had long ass
That feels
hair.
like forever ago.
I know. I don't know. He went, and then he went from long hair to shaved almost bald, like
Yeah.
down to a 1. Then it was a 1 that was blonde, and then all of a sudden he's in this new Kid and Play style.
To
Got to
have-
keep them guessing.
To have so many options.
Must be nice.
So great.
It
But
is.
Good thing.
It is.
Good thing he took after the other end of the family. Yeah.
Just to have options. Is so
It's nice. Sticking with sports, over to the WNBA, it's playoff time. The Atlanta Dream takes on Brianna Stewart and the New York Liberty tonight. And then the second game, Seattle Storm takes on Asia Wilson, the MVP, and the Las Vegas Aces.
So she's the MVP, and then Caitlin Clark was unanimously voted the Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year for the AP for Associated Press. She's Rookie of the Year. And Asia Wilson, I think, hands down, is going to be MVP. So.
Oh, that hasn't happened yet.
I don't know. I don't know whether
I
that's,
saw
because there's a bunch of different ones that do it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't know whether the actual league putting it out. I don't know if they've done it yet. Do you know, Gio?
no, I do not know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have like the Associated Press has their Rookie of the Year, but then the actual WNBA has Rookie of the Year. And
Okay,
does that.
I
So
gotcha.
We'll see what happens. A 25-year-old woman in South Carolina says she is done with CrossFit. If you guys want a reason not to go to the gym, this is it. She's done with CrossFit after she worked out so hard, her arms basically exploded. It's caused something called rhabdo, and it is where your muscles get so damaged, the cells die, and it can actually cause kidney failure and even kill you.
All from CrossFit.
Yeah, from working out too hard,
Yeah.
and made her arms explode.
I came close to that yesterday.
Oh yeah, I heard.
They say
I
that's
heard
why
the ambulance on its way there.
I said,
I was just gonna say they say that's why a lot of athletes that are young have heart attacks is because there's too much oxygen circulating through there and it causes the muscles to like not atrophy, but I think get too hard and then they'll end up having a heart attack.
oh my God.
Yeah, because I remember when they were saying a lot of it is the COVID stuff, there were a lot of doctors saying like, no, it's actually something else when you work out too much.
Yeah, well, you get that lactic acid also where that builds up, and then this, saying her arms exploded, rhabdo.
Yeah.
where the muscles get so damaged the cells die.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And CrossFit people don't really stretch because that's a huge thing.
By the way, I think I told this before, but when I was younger and I was working at a pizza place, and my brother has always worked out, so I was like, "Can you show me some things to do?" There's that, and he showed me curls, and he showed me this. So, I didn't inquire more, so I just did curls until my arms hurt, and then did more curls, and just kept on doing curls. First time I ever worked out. The next day, I was walking around like Frankenstein. I could not bend my arms, and I had to go to work at the pizza place and try and roll pizza dough. I'm like, this hurts. Yeah, it was
it's
wild.
like trying to get up off the toilet after you did like that.
Yeah.
Dude, when the first marathon that I ran, the next day, because it was bad that day, but you're still, high on, you're running a marathon and doing that stuff. The next day, got up, had to go to the bathroom, trying to get up. I should have just lived there. It was wild how bad that was.
I don't know how you do that. That's so foreign to me.
What, running a marathon?
Marathons,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, it's,
Mental.
yeah, but a lot mental.
Yeah.
A lot mental. And as long as you put in the training and do the training and
Sure.
that, whatever. But yeah, you have to go, I'm going to be out here for hours doing this.
I don't know that
the
at all.
biggest thing, because I've had a lot of people ask me about it, the biggest thing is if you think you can, you can.
Oh,
That's,
I'm positive I can't.
Yeah, well, then that you would go, all right, because you're going to give up and you're going to be like,
I gave up going to the mailbox. So stop sign.
Open Mouth Sally did the double marathon.
He did,
didn't
yeah.
Which
He
is
did
crazy.
the ultra, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the race between Mike and Gio? Are you guys done training for that?
no,
I'm still in training.
I'm ready when he is.
So, Carmen, that is actually scheduled right before Mike and Spanish fight. So,
Okay. Oh,
Listen,
gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
I
And
said
then
I
we
would
go
fight
white-
Spanish today.
And then we go whitewater rafting, and then we play
Camping?
volleyball and go camping.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I go
will-
to Germany.
I'll fight Spanish today. We've already been to Germany. I went to the stop sign by myself, so I'm good there. That's it. I'm the guy who follows through with things.
You're not fighting Spanish, you're boxing him.
Well, I'll fight him right now.
But that's not what we're talking about.
I
We're
know.
talking about boxing. You walked to the stop sign. You didn't race Gio.
I'm ready whenever. I'll do it right now.
You will not. You look.
Yeah.
You lie.
Gio started sweating the second he said that.
Listen, I'm not going to say I'm not going to sweat or be tired, but I am ready at any time to go.
There's no burgers there. I'm just letting you know.
That's
We
fine.
put a burger down the end. Watch
Whoever
out.
wins gets the burger.
Challenge accepted.
Tyreek Hill over
I'm
here.
in. Like, can I be in this race?
Yeah.
They call me Cheetah for a reason.
A pilot flying from Nebraska to Oregon had a mechanical issue and had to land his plane on the interstate. But he was a mechanic, so he actually got out, fixed the plane, took off from the interstate.
Damn.
Nice.
Could you imagine seeing that the plane land and you're like, oh, this guy's screwed. Oh, nope, he's back in the air.
Yeah.
He's totally fine.
I would definitely be like, that guy works for the CIA 100%. Wherever he's going, he's very important.
How great must it be to know how to fix things?
Amazing.
I have zero skill of that. I never learned, never did it, But I mean, could you imagine if your car breaks and you're like, oh, it's this. What did you do? And
Yeah,
just fix
I
it
don't have
and
any of
go.
that either.
Yeah.
How great must it be to be John Travolta and just be like, man, I really wish I could go to Paris right now. All right, I got a plane
Yeah,
and I know how to
yeah.
fly it.
Yeah.
I'll just go to Paris. What would you rather be able to fix? Your car and mechanical stuff, or build stuff like Dino?
Yeah, I think, I don't know.
I think I'd rather be able to build stuff.
It's
I'd be putting
both very
additions
impressive.
and
Both very impressive.
yeah. My house would be so nice if I could do half the things I see in my head.
My father-in-law literally built their house.
So
They built the entire addition
my
onto their
family
house.
did that. Like my generation before me
Yeah.
all built their own houses.
I've had a light bulb outside my porch that's been out for like 3 months because I can't figure out what kind of light bulb it is or how to get into it.
Yeah,
So the guy that I used to work for that owned the nightclub, he owned concessions, he owned restaurants, he owned all this stuff, and he partnered up with a guy, Rick, who was a master builder, who would come in and he'd do all the building and do all the stuff, whatever. And I saw Rick build an entire thing when they were redoing the nightclub. He built this whole entire hang down thing. It was unbelievable, this big thing. And Bob, the other owner, walked in and he goes, I don't like it. Tear it down. And they just tore it down. And the guy spent like 6 hours, 8 hours building, doing all this stuff. And it was perfect thing, whatever. And he goes, no, tear it down. And I was like, oh my God.
I can't even hang a TV in my house.
Oh, no.
Like
I feel you, Gio.
Yeah.
You can hang a TV, Carmen?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yes.
Like on a wall.
Yes. Yeah. Where? I think that's the problem, Spanish.
Yeah, like
if
where
you're
else?
trying to use a window.
Well,
Carmen, when you change the channel, does it fall?
No.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I can. Yes, I could do that.
Thank God my in-laws can do all that kind of stuff. I'll go to my brother-in-law's house. They'll have an entire engine like taken apart in his garage. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you going to do? He's like, oh, we're rebuilding the engine.
I know. I don't know anything.
No.
Anything like that. I have no. If I had to hang a TV, I think I could probably do it because I've seen it done enough times and I know where to find the studs and all that stuff. A small TV. A small.
And if you watch the YouTube video, and maybe.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you, yesterday I had problems with my TV in my living room. None of my apps would work. So if I go to put on YouTube TV, click on another one happen. My wife left to take my daughter to softball practice, and I went in there with I'm not leaving till this is done, and I got it done, and I was so proud of myself. I had to reset the router and do all these things. Yeah, but I was very proud of myself.
Listen, any small feat, I'm amazed.
Yep.
I'm like, I did it. You need to know about this.
I will tell you that when we did afternoons, and I lived in Land O'Lakes, we had a gate there that you had to have like a card, and you had to flash the card. Or when I programmed it to my car, where I just pushed a button in my car and the gate opened, I was as proud of that as I was of my children. I thought, I have done something here. I have made fire. I was so proud of myself.
When I was younger, my battery died. And so I got a new battery, and then that battery died. And my roommate, Wes, he goes, it's not your battery, it's your alternator. That's why the battery's dying. And I go, I don't know. And I go, so I got to take it to a mechanic. And he goes, no, it's an alternator. I can do it. And I go, you can?
Oh, that's still to me amazing.
I go, you can? And he goes, yeah. And I go, how much is the alternator? He goes, I don't know, it's like $80, $100 or something, whatever. And I go, and you can just put it in the car? And he goes, yeah, absolutely. He goes, I'll have it done today. So I got it. I gave him money. He went and got it, put it in. I walk out there. He's in the hood of my car, and they're doing it and stuff. I was amazed.
Do you realize all the men listening to the show that are laughing at us right now?
That happened to my car, and my wife changed the alternator.
Really? No way.
I 100%.
Really?
Yeah,
Why? Because she's a woman. She can't do that, Mike.
No, because I think
Gio's a sissy, and he should have done it.
Well, but that, and also I can't think of my wife changing that at all. Although she did set up my SodaStream machine the other day, and I was very impressed by that.
My wife also swapped out the garbage disposal too. That was great.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
But think about it. Like her dad and her brothers, that's what they all do.
Yeah.
So that's what she grew up with.
Yeah. I don't know how to do it.
Survival skills. That's what my specialty is.
Wait,
survive on what?
finding burgers?
Listen, I lived on a porch for years.
That's true. That's
In
true.
the heat and the elements, that's where my skill set comes in.
Mine's funny and charming. That's what I. Today is national. Today is National Punctuation Day. Period.
I don't like that.
What's your favorite punctuation mark?
Semicolon.
Why?
No.
Because it's
You don't know what to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you have an elongated sentence that you want to add, you don't want it to be a run-on, but you want to have more than 1 point in a sentence. So you
I
add
thought that was a comma.
No, comma you can only use so many times. Like if you're going to say a comma would be, I'm going to go to the store and I want to go to, Blockbuster. But you would use a semicolon. You're going to say, I'm going to go to the store and I'm also going to go here because of X, Y, and Z. So let me know what you want. Semicolon.
So if I say I'm going to go to the store and go to Blockbuster, I have to use a comma before the end?
You should, yeah.
You don't have to.
You should.
Like,
no,
I think if you have and in there, I don't think.
But
you
I
need the
also-
comma.
I like-
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like the comma, there was a guy, comma, I told you about him before, comma,
Yeah.
that was a real jerk. That's right,
That's
though,
correct.
right?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
you're using
Oh.
it. You're using it for pauses.
No, he's using it because he's adding information about the guy.
Information about the guy.
And then the rest
Say
of
it
the
again.
sentence after.
I
Right.
said there is a guy, comma, I told you about him before, comma, he
Oh,
was a
you're
real jerk.
changing thought. Okay, but like you're. I'm confused.
By the way, I also feel like your wife could school us on
Yeah,
this.
for real. Because I could be wrong.
100%.
I
Yeah.
feel like we all have AI now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She's probably yelling at the radio, these idiots.
Yeah. Comma morons.
Come on. Dummy.
Freddie Prinze Jr. will return as Ray in an upcoming sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
thought
Jennifer
he died.
Love Hewitt is also in talks to return. The film will hit theaters next summer.
Okay.
Great.
You excited
Just,
about
I like
just
those.
as good
No.
as the new Scream movies were.
Yeah. The like high school slasher flicks have kind of all died away.
Freddie Prinze Jr. is like, please, Scooby Doo, something, anything you guys will get me to do some work.
Isn't Arquette though still in all the Scream movies? Dewey?
Yeah.
Even they like 10 of them.
They all went
a
in.
different cast, but he's still there.
in all
Yeah.
of
But
them.
then I think one of the most recent ones, they had them come back. Like
Really?
a lot of them came back because even Nev Campbell came back.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so hot.
But he's been doing a bunch of stuff because I know he did stuff with WWE.
Yeah, he was a writer.
Doing
But
with
I think
them.
that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. But I see him all the time whenever they have the stuff about WWE, the biographies, and them sitting at a round table, and it's him and the guy with the cowboy hat and the girl. And I don't know. Michael Bublé turned down The Voice at least 15 times because he says, quote, most of the singers on there are better than me, and I have no place judging anyone. But he finally made his debut as a coach last night.
That's a good cop-out answer, too.
Yeah.
I don't know why he wouldn't want to do it, but, the money that they pay those people, that's great money. And then all of a sudden you're doing the whole American Idol Michael Bublé tour.
Yeah. By the way, Taylor Hawkins, you said that about the drum off. Guitar Center has the drum off, and he goes, they want me to be a judge. He goes, do you know how many better drummers there are out there than me? He goes, I don't want to go up there and judge everyone.
Evidently, that really bothered him.
All I know is every
R.I.P.
time you say Michael Bublé, I think about him elbowing his wife live on Instagram. or whatever the hell it
So
was.
good.
Yeah.
He elbowed her and then realized I'm on Instagram, and he goes like this, like, oh, just
Like
kidding.
joking.
Yeah.
The best
But
was
he-
We all relate.
his wife's face was the best because she knew they were live and she just was staring at the camera. She's like, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
That's right, America.
Oh, he beats her.
I don't ever elbow my wife.
my
I just,
Not on camera.
I give her the squeeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll squeeze the arm.
Do you
That
twist?
hurts.
Or
No,
just-
I'm
yeah.
not trying to punish her.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to let her know that don't do that. Don't do it. Somebody's watching. Squeeze.
See, now you're doing full squeeze claw. You ever do the horse bite?
Yeah, but I do that more to my daughter than I do to my wife.
Horse bite's good. Horse bite.
I tell my daughter all the time, I go, no matter what you think you can do to me, I could do this. And I just pinch the side of her side.
Yeah.
Or I straight finger her between her ribs,
Yeah.
right by the side.
All right.
Oh, God, that was just terrible.
In a loving way.
Sticking with singers, Arnel Pinata, the lead singer for Journey, was left devastated after critics panned his performance at the recent Rock in Rio festival in Brazil. Pinata, who is 57 years old, found a video circulating online which showed him having issues with his in-ear monitors and struggling to reach the right notes during a concert last week. The singer offered up a chance for fans to have a say in how the band should move forward after the upsetting show. He said, quote, so here's the deal now. I'm offering you the chance, especially those who hated on me and never liked me from the very beginning, to simply text go or stay right here. He said, if go reaches 1 million, I'm stepping out for good. Are you game, folks?
Damn.
Yeah, good. I would vote him out just to be a dick.
Just to vote him
Just
out,
to be
yeah.
a dick, yeah.
We should do that for this show.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Who gets voted off?
Span is the only one not excited about that.
Yeah, for real.
Big Dick just hit me up and he said we should do this as a bit. He could build a false wall and we could see who can hang a TV.
I'm out. I know for a fact it would not.
He said Carmen wins by far.
Yeah.
I think I could do
Thank
it
you,
too.
Big Dick.
I don't have a drill. I don't have.
Oh, I didn't know we had to bring our own tools.
Yeah,
Yes,
Oh, no, now
that's
we're
part of it.
I'll use a screwdriver, whatever.
I needed an Allen wrench the other day, and I had to use a butter knife.
Does the TV have a hook on the back?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Can
Well, how
I
do you hang
use?
it?
Can I use one of those ones that has the peel off thing?
Yeah.
No.
no.
Can I just tie string to it and hang the string on something like a
Just
picture?
duct tape.
Yeah. How long does it have to hang there before it counts?
I would hang a picture and then I would put nails at the bottom of the picture for it to rest on.
Wait,
It's uneven.
not how you do that.
That's how.
I'm terrible.
Keep it safe. Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. How is that spelled?
Loves Joe. Loves Joe.
How's Megadeth spelled? Accused Peter Frampton of talking out of his ass. He says Peter Frampton said Megadeth made him cancel a concert by causing structural damage to the venue. Frampton apologized and said, I was just joking.
Yeah.
Like, that's a funny joke.
That is a funny
Megadeth
joke.
blew the place up, so I have to cancel the concert, you know.
What is Dave Mustaine's deal? He's always just been crotchety as hell.
100%. So he was a full-blown alcoholic. They got kicked out of Metallica. Metallica goes on to be the biggest band in the world for the last 40 years, 50 years, whatever
That's
it
it,
is.
huh?
And every time, well, did you ever see the documentary, Some Kind of
I have
Monster?
not.
Oh, you got
They
this
even
good.
they even talked to Dave Mustaine about it, and he goes, "You have to understand." Even people that come to my show yell Metallica at me. He goes, I'll be walking down the street and they'll yell Metallica at me. He goes, I'm constantly reminded of it. And Metallica, you're in the same thing. You're doing the same thing. They're so much more successful than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's got to be rough.
Ooh.
You're just carrying that around for the rest of your life. And knowing that it was your fault. I was such a goof up that I got kicked out of the band and they went on to be huge. You know, that's got to be rough.
I'm sorry, Dave.
Yes, but what about if you get kicked out of the band and then your band becomes the biggest band in the world?
Oh, that'd be great. But also,
That I relate to.
But-
I was
yeah,
kicked, I was
exactly.
kicked out of the band, then my band became really popular.
yeah, if you become popular, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you don't, but also take Metallica away, Megadeth is a huge band.
Yeah.
But
it's not
you-
Metallica.
Yeah, it's not Metallica, and it never will be Metallica.
You're still a rock star for a living.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly. And you've been doing it for a long
Right.
time.
Yeah.
You know.
We had Megadeth play at Livestock one year, and one of the grossest things I ever saw in my life was Dave Mustaine take his shirt off and someone apply. It was a woman, but apply sunscreen to his pasty
He looked like
red
a
back.
scallop with hair on it.
Oh, it was gross.
Hello,
It was gross.
me. It's the real me.
Yeah.
Speaking of singers, Morgan Wallen, who has the rescheduled concert, right? He
Yep.
rescheduled that. Morgan Wallen just broke the record for the biggest music weekend in the history of Knoxville with 2 shows with over 150,000
Jeez,
people.
amazing.
The previous record was set 40 years ago by who?
Garth Brooks,
No, I will tell you it was a group. It was a group.
Alabama.
40 years ago. Alabama, no. And it's not country. They're not country.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. The Eagles.
No.
Boston.
Think younger and blacker.
Boys to Men.
No.
New Edition.
40 years ago.
Oh, 40.
40 years ago
40.
still. 40.
40 years ago. I was.
Jackson 5.
Bam.
Whoa, really?
Jackson 5 with the
right.
whisper over here.
Hell
Not
yeah.
confident at all.
Not-
Say it from your chest.
Yeah.
Jackson 5.
Jackson 5.
Jackson 5.
Don't say it like a Jackson.
Come on.
Jackson,
Rest in
Jackson
peace,
5.
Tito.
Jackson.
I don't even know if that count on Jeopardy.
It would
if
not.
you say it so
What is
squeamishly.
Jackson 5?
Jackson 5.
I didn't make that face.
I'm sorry, did you say something? I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be wrong.
Did you see you saw the walkout video for because Morgan Wallen always
No,
does a
you were
walkout-
talking about it.
So he always does these walkout videos like he's almost like walking to the ring or whatever.
He had Tom Brady with
Brady.
yeah.
So Peyton Manning does it, and they're in Knoxville, University of Tennessee, where
Right.
Peyton Manning is a legend, played
Sure.
there. So Peyton Manning walks out of the tunnel with Morgan Wallen, and he's in full uniform, pads, football helmet,
That's pretty
Tennessee
cool.
uniform, and
That's
walks
great.
out as if he's going to play the game, and the crowd goes insane.
Yeah.
The
Pretty
fact
awesome.
that he would do that makes him cool. Yeah, for sure.
It was so funny. He's just like full Tennessee uniform. He's probably had not worn since he played Tennessee.
Right.
like,
You gotta
25
wonder
years
when he's
ago.
putting it on. He's like, "Am I still looking good? Does it look weird?"
You know, it's like the tunnel he used to walk out of.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's wild.
Remember when everyone hated Morgan Wallen for like 2 days?
No one hated Morgan Wallen. They tried to make
Yeah.
you
That's
hate
the
Morgan
thing.
Wallen, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we don't care."
Yeah. The
We don't
media
care.
hated him, but then they were like, oh, I guess he's not so bad.
It only made him stronger.
Yeah.
He yelled the N-word and he became more popular than
Well,
ever.
he didn't yell it at a black person. He was just saying it to be cool.
Yeah,
He
wasted.
was just drunk.
Yeah.
Saying,
Oh, all these excuses. All right, guys.
Yeah.
No,
I guess I'm the only one that's not racist.
Speaking of people who are canceled, I'm looking forward to seeing that Vince McMahon documentary tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
On Netflix.
That'll be interesting for sure.
I wonder if they're going to show him pooping on that girl.
I
him
hope
and
so.
Johnny Laurinaitis doing gay stuff together.
By the way, Vince McMahon has come out and said they use trick editing.
Oh.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay.
I bet.
He said it was deceptive.
Yeah.
No, sure, yeah.
Although I will tell you that documentaries are good like that.
Oh,
'Cause
sure.
I've seen, like they had Making a Murderer, and then they did the other one, and it was like, watch this one, and you're like, oh, maybe he was. No,
Yeah,
maybe he
yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell. You guys are too good.
Well,
You
we're going to
confuse me.
have Nick from the Outlast show that's on Netflix join us at 8:15 this morning, and we'll find out from him. I have a feeling he said he's got a lot of stuff that he could talk about that happened off the air. So, there's a lot of, you got to imagine when you tape a show like that, there's 5 different shows to be made. The show they made is not necessarily the reality show.
Because there's a lot of times, on all the trash reality that I watch, the Housewives and all the different things, where they'll be yelling at somebody and then they cut to that person and they're just looking dumb and confused. And you know that it's somebody saying to them, they don't have the audio. Hey, when you stand there, the lighting is bad, so make sure you turn left whenever, and they're just listening to them.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're staring intently to the other person that they're fighting with, and they just put some dramatic music underneath it, and it's just,
I watched yesterday a clip of, so when I turn my TV on, it automatically pulls up the Samsung channel, and they were showing some fake reality show about towing cars yesterday.
Oh, the fakest, by the way.
My God.
The fakest.
What are you going to do? We're going to fight in the driveway. And it was so awful.
Terrible. Jerry Seinfeld and Jim Gaffigan are going to tour together next year. So they did a few of those shows, remember, with Sebastian. And
Unfunny white guy.
oh, both very funny. Very funny.
Not really. I don't find Jerry Seinfeld's comedy to make me laugh at all. I do love the TV show, and I find Jim Gaffigan to be okay. But I don't think I'd see that at all.
Comedy legends.
Yeah, I'm not denying it. Same thing where Morgan Wallen is huge. I'm not going to see him either.
Right,
you know?
but also, it's a lot like you have your whole life to write your first, album for musicians and stuff, and then the stuff after that is where you see,
they're
how
good or
they do
not.
whatever.
I
mean, if you're writing comedy and doing that stuff, and people's tastes change.
Yeah, I've seen Jerry Seinfeld twice, and both times I went, that was not fun.
Yeah.
And same thing with Jay Leno. Jay Leno, I know, is great at what he does, but he does jokes for old people. And I just went, oh, this is not good.
Maybe this is more your style. Weird Al Yankovic
I saw this.
will kick off the Bigger and Weirder 2025 tour next June. Doesn't look like any dates right now in Florida. Looks like Texas, Louisiana, about as close as you're going to get. He's, I think, kicking it off in Vegas.
I would go see that because I've never seen it, and I hear it's a really good production. Weird Al, somebody that should have a Vegas residency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for
that
sure.
would be a fun thing to do. Let's go see Weird Al and
Yeah.
get really messed up, or take some drugs and go see Weird Al.
Did he have a movie about
Yeah.
him that
Yeah.
came out? Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it. The Harry Potter
Yeah.
kid played him.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty. It was
Okay.
It was kind of like it was fake autobiographical. It was about him, but then there was just some stuff that they added in there to make it crazy. And I thought it was pretty funny.
I like Danny Radcliffe.
I think if you went and saw Weird Al, you'd be amazed at how good they are.
No, I know.
You know,
I've heard.
I've seen it before.
And the band and everything.
Weird
and
Al played the Rocket Club.
And isn't that band like the band that he's had from the start? Like, I think it's
the
like
same
guys that have
guys,
been
yeah.
together for 50 years or whatever.
When I saw him, he came out in the fat suit for I'm Fat.
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard they do a whole.
It's a whole
big production.
yeah.
No.
Weird Al, I feel like, can never be just normal or
He's weird.
subtle.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean, though? Like, if you meet Weird Al and he was like, hey, guys, how you doing? You'd be like, oh, boo.
I
he's
interviewed
got to
Weird
be
Al.
like, wow, what's happening,
I interviewed him.
I did
and
too.
Had a hard time sitting there with him when he was not wearing the glasses. And I said, "What did you get? LASIK surgery?" And he said, "Yeah." And I go, "Well, this is throwing me off. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking straight in your eyes now." And then I tried to talk to him about Weird Al groupies, which he was admitted that there were, but wouldn't really talk. I'm like, I know a bunch of girls that are hot that love you. And he was like, yeah, but he didn't really want to let on about it.
I got to interview Weird Al after his parents died in a fire.
Oh no!
And they told me, please don't bring up the fact that his parents died in a fire, and I go, who would?
Yeah,
I mean, I know, I get it. You know, even if you said condolences or whatever, but I was like,
that's when I saw them because he came through Tallahassee, and his parents, it was carbon monoxide poisoning in the garage. Is how they died. Yeah,
they didn't crisp up.
Completely unexpected. Yeah.
No, I mean for real, like they didn't just.
So
burn in the
I got him
fire.
on. I go, we have Weird Al on the phone. Speaking of weird, how about your parents dying in the garage? That's weird, huh?
Oh my god!
Burning down the house.
Yeah, you're gonna do a parody, Jimi Hendrix fire. Finally, in news, there is a new survey out on corporate America's top frustrations. Basically, there's a lot of grievances and stuff, and I know that. I mean, we are corporate; we work for a corporation and stuff. So, if we want to run through this list and kind of figure out what we agree with, disagree with, and stuff, I don't know if you want to take a break and come. Oh, we have him coming up.
No,
All right. So, what would you say? Number one thing people are frustrated with or have grievances about if they work in corporate America?
Reply all.
Reply all. No. Number one thing. What would you think
pay.
it is? Pay. Dissatisfaction. Hi. With salary, 29% are frustrated about that. Number two is lack of appreciation.
I don't feel that way about appreciation. I feel like this company appreciates us.
Oh, I feel.
Yeah, I'm trying to apply it to our
so
situation.
for our company, we can go around. Do you feel like you're appreciated?
Yeah.
Yeah. that was a Jackson 5. Yeah. there.
Yeah, I do feel appreciated.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just can't say why.
No, I think we get it. Yeah. You're still here.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's good, you know, and I feel like much more now with Jason than ever
Yeah.
before.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a big deal with it. Poor work-life balance. When you're at work, you're at work. When you're home, you're home. A lot of people, that's a blurred line for sure, where it's like, you know, you've seen all the different texts from people. Hey, why aren't you here? I told you that I was going to a funeral. I've had it on the schedule for 3 weeks. Well, you got to be here to. Okay.
And this company lets you take days off whenever you want. So
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with
I
that.
feel like this job never ends.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it never ends. I feel like.
Oh.
Well, there's no like time. You know what I mean? Like if something needs to be done, like there's many times that John has texted me at like 9. You know what I mean? Just to give me a heads up about something or just to make sure I'm aware of something.
Yeah,
And
but
it's not necessarily.
we're also in a different situation.
Right.
If you're working a 9 to 5 job and they're texting you at 9 o'clock at night and telling you this, you got to be like, okay, shut up.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
Like you
at
can
home.
wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah, usually John with me, it's more like, hey, I had to add something in for timing purposes. Just make sure you get there a little earlier to make sure timing works out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like something like that. It's nothing that I can really take care of at the moment. It's more of just like, just be there a little
By the way,
early.
are you aware of the problem that happened this morning?
I am.
What happened?
Our fearless leader came in this morning at like 6:00, like 5:00, like 5:55. I guess Roger and JP had a last minute best of scheduled because Monica wasn't feeling well. Roger was scheduled to be out, and then JP was running late, so it was just okay. We're gonna do best of.
All right.
John Brennan never scheduled the best of cards.
So
For
who
overnight.
came in at 5 in the morning?
For overnight. Well, John was able to do it from his house, but
okay.
that's why he came in at 5:55 because he was just like awake from, you know, making the changes.
From screwing up.
From making the changes and
Yeah.
helping out at 4 in the morning when, you know, it doesn't matter.
I refuse to answer any emails from him anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're phishing
They're
scams?
scams.
Yeah.
The other day, he sent me one. There was a phishing scam, and I couldn't find the phishing thing on my phone. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. And then I got 2 from him yesterday. I went, I'm not even reading them. I don't even know what they are.
You know what the worst thing is? He invited me to go fishing, and then I didn't respond.
Yeah.
And if you click on those, then they force you to do like a course.
Yeah.
Where you
That's why
can
I'm
sit-
not answering
Yeah,
any of
so
that.
I had to sit through the course that took like over
John,
an hour.
if you're listening, if you need me to tell me something, tell Spanish, and he'll tell me.
Yeah, please
Or
don't
just
because
text it.
I just I just got one of those phishing things and
Yeah.
I reported it as a scam and I got the little like badge of honor. Good job, you're keeping the company safe. I was like, please leave
thank
me alone.
God.
Yeah.
John, he did give me like a dead giveaway though, because the email always says "Hello, George."
Yes.
And I know he would never say that,
Yeah.
so that's usually the giveaway I figured out.
That's true.
Well, way to go, Gio. Now
What?
now they're on to it.
Oh, damn it!
Now they're gonna
Wait.
fix it. Stupid.
Oh my God. Way to go, George.
Listen,
Yeah.
I haven't logged into company email in over a month.
Oh God. How many emails do you think you have?
A lot.
So
Yeah, I
some of
don't-
the
I don't
other
either.
some of the other corporate America's top frustrations is lack of support from leaders,
I don't feel that.
lack of career advancement opportunities.
I do feel that.
Yeah.
Low morale,
I don't feel that. You feel low morale. What job do you have?
No, low morale. No.
dissatisfaction with paid time off,
Nope. No problem there.
staying profitable in a competitive industry,
I mean, we're doing good. Everybody else.
You're doing good.
failing
We're-
to evolve as workplaces and adopting new ideas and systems.
Oh, we got a bring your dog to work section and a bring your kid to work. And
Everyone works from home now.
By the way, did you see there was Bluebell in the?
I did.
Take
Can
whatever
I-
you want.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, I had the chocolate brownie truffle.
That was for my cousin.
It was so good.
How dare you?
It was delicious.
Oh, I guess
Who
my
was
cousin's
that?
gonna go hungry.
That
Huh?
was Sean.
Sean,
Yeah.
Which Sean?
the bald head.
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Carmen, you know you have until Friday at 8 a.m. to replace that ice cream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and put
What
it back
else?
in my belly. It was really good.
And that's pretty much it. You know, people just complaining about the same stuff.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints about this place. I've
No.
worked here for 20 years almost, and I'm pretty
I-
happy most of those times.
I do have one complaint.
Oh, hit it.
Here we go, Bone Fam. The Bone Bonus. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine. Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
This hour's Bone Bonus keyword is...
Uh
What? You don't have it?
oh. No, do you?
Hold on one second.
If not, I could just make it up.
No,
No.
don't make it up. It won't work.
Okay, this hour's keyword is joy.
Hey.
Head to the 1025 The Bone app now and enter joy, Joy, before 30 minutes past the top of the hour, and the $1,000 Bone bonus could be yours.
Who makes up these words?
I think they just have a random thing that does it because I had to tell them before. I go, you understand that sometimes you give out a word that has two different spellings. You know,
Right.
if it's just,
Flower.
well, I don't want to say it because now people are going to get confused. Joy is the word. But, you know, there's obviously a lot of words that this one's this one's this, and they're spelled differently. And people are like, hey, which one is it? And do I only get one shot
Yeah,
at this?
yeah.
So-
I tell
That's why I always spell it out.
yeah, that helps.
I say DM Carmen if you have problems.
Yeah,
with
100%.
this.
That's probably the best.
I
thing to do.
cannot give it out to you in text or anything in DMs. Nothing.
Joy.
I just
Joy.
email him John Brennan's phone number.
Wait, what?
Oh, all right.
that is it for news.
Yeah, go get your $1,000 in the bone bonus keyword. Hopefully, somebody wins and sends us a pizza. Actually, Chinese food this time. We had pizza last time, right?
Barbecue spare ribs?
Who doesn't like a little Chinese food?
General Chow's shrimp.
Oh my god, yeah. Beef and broccoli.
Chinese pizza.
Are you guys getting breakfast?
No.
Don't worry about
Oh. Well, if you get breakfast, I'll get breakfast.
You get, you
And then
get
we-
breakfast?
I know I can, but I wasn't going to.
You want to be the only fatty fat?
it. Carmen, I did see a burger down the stop sign at the end of the road here. So.
I'm on my way.
Since Mike changed his diet, now we all suffer.
Look, Uber Eats is there for all of you
Like
guys.
the old
Do what you
days,
want.
McGriddle.
Can I tell you?
damn.
Can I
Long
tell you how hard it was to walk out of here last week without having Three Brothers
Yeah.
Pizza?
Tell me
They
about
had a veggie one.
Listen, Carmen. Listen, I had to go and
Listen,
Run.
they made me a cake that's still in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
I can't eat the cake.
What?
Yeah.
Eat the cake.
give it to the cake kid over
Yeah,
there.
take it. I
Yeah.
said.
He didn't say I could take it.
Of course I did.
You might have. But.
Joe, did you take the pizzas?
I did,
I said
Michael.
take everything.
Well, I asked if you wanted it. You said yes because I think your son might have eaten
Oh,
it.
my daughter. My
Yeah,
daughter.
yeah,
I mean,
so it's in the-
yeah, you're right. I'm
So
sorry.
that's
Spider.
all right.
Well, it was either you or another little kid that was going to eat it. So.
I mean,
You're a
Just sitting in
kid.
your footy pajamas eating cake.
Yeah.
it's the best.
With his
Man.
fingers, too. Not even a fork.
Oh, dude, if the cake's all for me, I'm eating it with my hands.
He has it on his hands, like
Yeah.
on his fingers, like cake.
Did you see Open Mouth Sally's video?
I did not.
Yeah.
You saw it, Carmen?
About the place closing?
No.
then
He was giving a speech, and he was like, when I was told no, I didn't say no, and that's what you have to do. And it's just him. And I wrote underneath, and I go, in my mind, you're talking to stuffed animals, because there was nobody there. It was just him in a room, and I'm like, I know he's not talking to anybody.
No, he's a motivational speaker.
But he's not motivating anybody. It had 2 likes on it.
My buddy who wound up singing in our band, his father had to give a speech at work, and he was practicing it while we were over at his house.
Right.
And we heard him in the other room, and he kept on, thank you, blah, 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 and started the speech, whatever. And then their dog, Tippy, was in there.
Tippy.
Yeah. And he goes, thank you, Tippy. I'm glad to be here. And just kept on saying that. And I go, he's going to say it when he's up in front of everyone. They're going to go, who the hell's Tippy?
Tippy.
Thank you, Tippy.
We used to have a dog named Tippy, too.
Oh, really?
My grandparents did, yeah.
I think Tippy's
a very popular dog name.
I didn't know that.
All right, there's a show on Netflix called Outlast, and I enjoyed it thoroughly, watched it just on a whim, and it is about people who survive in the Alaskan outback, and I think it was actually, in Saskatchewan in Canada, and they drop them in the woods, and they make teams, and those teams have to survive and do challenges, and it is awesome, and there's 2 seasons of it, and season 1, there's a guy named Nick on it, and after I watched it, I was telling my sister about it, and she's like, yeah, Nick, from the first season, was my teacher in high school, lives right here in the Tampa Bay area, is going to join us on the show next. It's the Mike Calta Show, 1025 The Bone. Carmen is our guest on the line yet?
He is.
He is, okay, because I know he was, he is working his real job right now as a teacher, please, let's welcome Nick Radner to the show from the television show Outlast on Netflix. Nick, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Mike. Thanks for having me on. How's everything?
Good. I feel like I know you because I watched you in the woods for so many weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You get to kind of know everybody pretty intimately there, and you got to see some of the worst moments I've ever had, unfortunately, and basically one of the best besides the birth of my children. So it was quite an experience.
I don't think you come across anything but good in the whole thing. So just to let people know, this show is called Outlast. It's on Netflix, and it's been on there for some time. It's in the 2nd season, and I watched it out of order. I watched the 2nd season first, and didn't know if I would like it. Liked it so much, I immediately watched the 1st season. But my sister is over, and I said to my sister, I watched a show called Outlast, and she goes, yeah, one of the guys was my teacher in school when I went to school. I had no idea until after I started watching the show.
Yeah, I remember her. She was a great student. It was like wonderful. But yeah, I didn't make the connection until you told me. That was unbelievable, right?
That's so funny. All right, so let's start from the very beginning. I always wonder how people get on these shows. Now, you're a teacher right here in the Tampa Bay area. What makes you decide, how do you find out that they're casting for the show?
Oh, yeah, it's actually kind of an unbelievable story. I was just going through Instagram one day. I had just come back from like a mountain climbing / hiking trip in California, and didn't even put my bag down. I walked through the front door, and I saw this thing that said, do you think you have what it takes to survive in the wilderness? And we had just narrowly dodged a forest fire. So I said, of course. Yeah, of course I got that.
Uh-huh.
So, I sent in a 20-second video of myself, and pretty much everybody on the show had the same type of experience, either through Facebook or Instagram, and we all thought it was a scam.
Right.
Immediately.
That's what I would have thought. No way I would have responded to that.
Right. So after that, they started setting up these interviews with us. And eventually, it got pretty serious. They sent us to a doctor and a mental health screening, and I'm like, well, I failed that for sure. After that,
what experience did you have? I mean, obviously, you just said you did mountain climbing and stuff. What did you like? I feel like I would love to be on the show, but I was nothing more than a Boy Scout. You know what I mean? I don't know that I could. Yeah. Did you do other stuff to survive?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was raised on a farm in New York, so I had some real hunting experience, but not even close to what is necessary out there. Survival is a totally different game, but it's kind of like every reality show where you put yourself in the situation that the characters are in, and you want to know, like, what would I do? So they had asked me about my experiences, and I'm a decent outdoorsman. I can identify trees and plants, and I know a little bit about trapping, but I'm just not super experienced. But I knew, coming from a wrestling background, that I don't care how good these guys are, they're going to break down about 2 weeks when they haven't had food, and your skills there's a lot of luck involved too. Yeah. To be honest with you, where you're going to be at, each spot was different. So the hunting was different, and you can see it in like the 2nd season really well, how much some camps struggle to get food, and the other camps seemed to have it made. We got into a really good situation. We were about a half a mile away from fresh water. So just being able to hike out for water by like the second or third week was unbelievably difficult. So, it's a lot of your prior experience and how much you can adapt to the environment while you're there. But really the game is mental toughness. If you're just not mentally tough, I don't care how good you are at survival and foraging. I saw people that were way more skilled than me out there just break down.
Yeah, I mean, all the factors that come in, the weather factors, the loneliness factors, and then
your
the
kid.
Hunger. Yeah, you think about your family. But
I'm sure unknown,
bad.
too, like stuff that you don't realize until you're out there, and it's the 12th day, and you're like, oof, I didn't realize
they
this
threw us curveballs. They threw us big-time curveballs, and I'm telling you right now, second season got a little bit easier with the weather. We had 8 days of rain straight, 42 degrees, and I almost felt bad for the guys that were like in Vietnam who just got rained on constantly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, being rained on for 8 days straight can make you go insane.
Oh, I bet.
For sure.
I bet just that feeling of being wet or just sitting there and doing nothing, that's awful.
And in your mind, all you're hearing is Rooster by Alice in Chains. And you're like, what is going on?
I kind of did get like that.
So for those people who don't know, they get there, they all get to the spot, and then they organically just form into teams, or at least that's the way they make it look on the thing.
That's exactly how it went. Exactly how it went. And the way they sold it to us was it was going to be a team-based competition, but they segregated us from the very moment we were there, and the rules were do not talk to one another, because you want to know who's good. You only see these people during the group picture and the day you get dropped off. I mean, we flew in a Alaskan bush plane. It was so cool. We saw like whales from the air, and you're looking down on this crazy terrain, and you are way out. Like we're not close to any type of civilization. There's like a small town 40 minutes away by airplane. The rest of us had to get there by boat. So when you're dropped, all of a sudden there is a thing called drop shock. So, if you see it on Alone and you see it on some of these other shows where all your knowledge seems to go right out the window and you can't think. You can't plan. Like, you have this plan and, just like Mike Tyson says, right, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, right.
So it was kind of like that. They dropped us and it's like pick a team and you're like, what? Like you can't even think.
What?
And you're just kind of eyeballing people. And I got real lucky that the dude I picked, Seth, and me stuck it out, and some of the other women were really tough on that show too. So we just kind of gelled together, and then we made the team from there. But we knew nothing about one another, nothing.
Well, it's interesting because sometimes you look at a guy and you go, all right, well, this guy clearly has some, he's 6'3", he's a monster, he looks like he's good, and you're like, I'll take that guy. But who's picking like Tanya? Tanya was like a 70-year-old lady. Who I thought, like, how did she make the show?
And she was tough. She ended up being pretty tough. I'm telling you right now, if you make it past day 14, you're pretty tough. Like it is a mental battle every moment. And like, I know I talked a lot about not wanting to, not quitting out there.
Yeah.
That's a lot of me convincing myself not to quit. And cause there's not a moment out there where at some point a cheeseburger doesn't become worth $250,000 to you.
For people who don't know, they give you a flare, and when you're ready to quit, you just shoot the flare off in the sky, and then the other teams don't even really know who it is that flared out until it starts dwindling down to people. It's a very interesting show. And the entire time.
That flare gun's bad juju. That flare gun, we didn't want to touch it.
No.
We left it outside of our camp. We left it buried under a rock. We didn't even want it. We didn't want to sleep next to that thing. That flare gun becomes a symbol of like your end.
Yeah.
And I kind of knew too that like from the sport of wrestling, I know how people are. They don't want to be. You don't want to have that woulda, coulda, shoulda. I was truly prepared to die out there. Yeah. I mean, my kids, or be medevac. I didn't think I was going to totally die, but you never know.
Right.
The contract they made us sign was pretty wild. We're not responsible for your death by war or riot, submersion in water. I'm like, war or riot? Okay. So it was.
Speaking of water, how cold was that water? Because there were so many times I'd be like, just jump in the water, and then I thought, oh, that water's got to be freezing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was bad. We went in twice, and they cut it out of the show. We had so much more stuff that happened on the show that just didn't make the editing for because it didn't fit their narrative pretty good, and or it would have confused the story. At one point, Seth on my team to win a challenge to win a fishing kit. Before we caught those fish, there was a whole challenge that they didn't even add into the show. So, like Seth, to win the challenge, just stripped straight down, jumped into the water, and swam like 50 yards, and then had to stand on these sharp rocks. That water was freezing. I mean, you go into shock like pretty much right away. I don't know if like water submersion or ice baths could even prepare you for that, because at that point you're in starvation, like truly in starvation. So everything affects you. And I noticed that when you get dehydrated really easy when you haven't eaten food. So, and you know, way faster than you think you would. So everything affects you just like, you know, to the nth degree. It was freezing. That water was bad news, man. I had nothing left. Nothing left when we went in.
Let me ask you, I got the basic question. So first of all, what do you get to bring with you?
Okay, the clothes on your back. And they gave us, they said that we were all getting the same kit to begin with. They gave us a list of poisonous plants in the area to not eat, which was kind of disturbing. Yeah. And then they gave us a list of things we could bring. So it was like a thermal layer, a base layer, and a rain layer. You could bring 2 hats, or you could bring a hat and a scarf, but everything else would be like, it was just the clothes on your back. Like they really make it difficult. So you know, everybody's dressed differently, which is kind of cool because, like you said, you know, you're picking out who's tough and who knows what they're doing. So I picked out, I mean, I was a little strapped for cash, but I picked out a rain jacket and pants that ran me $800, but that stuff stayed dry and stopped the wind, and I'm almost sure that it saved my life at a couple points. I was super close to hypothermia at a couple points.
Wow. Jeez. All right. So then food-wise, they give you nothing for food? You have to get all of your own food?
All of it. You have to, like, it's up to you. I really survived on mussels and berries. We had these, like, nasty, sweet, kind of sour, almost bitter berries called loganberries, and they were everywhere. And you just kind of, like, it was like eating, but it wasn't calorically like sufficient. Yeah. So, you know, it feels like you're eating and it gives you a good feeling, but we were starving. And we got to a point where, you know, we had Paul had taken a shot at a deer and put an arrow right between his shoulders. And that, you know, we just couldn't track it. We were too weak. But that was like week 5 out there. So at a certain point, even if you get food, it would take weeks of slow refeeding and the right type of calories to get you back to where you need to be. Yeah. It's not like, oh, we got a deer, we're saved. It's like, no, we need to be in the hospital.
I kept trying to explain it to my wife. I said, you don't understand. They shoot with those little arrows that they have. If they shoot a deer, they still got to track that deer down. That deer could run for another mile with that arrow in it. So,
through that mustang, through that stuff is like walking through a sponge. And the deer are going to run through a waterway. You're going to lose them. It's really hard to track. And like, it's just like you said, like there's no way to, the energy level at that point is so low. And I tell you what, man, every morning Paul dragged his butt out of bed and made that hike to get there at dawn. And then I would hunt in the evening. And there was a point where I really mentally broke down. I hit a squirrel and I shot it up in the air and the thing landed on its back and didn't move. And I'm like, yes, we got it. And then it like squeaked and ran away. And I just broke down. I just broke down. I was like, I'm terrible. I don't belong here. You know, imposter syndrome.
Oh, that's awful. And then the worst part was, even if you got it, you got to eat a squirrel, which what does squirrel, what does squirrel taste like?
Swear, oh man, it tastes like chicken.
Yeah, does it really?
It tastes a little gamey. It's not bad. But I ate some weird stuff out there. I ate the chanterelles and mushrooms that we found in the forest that, you know, you're playing Russian roulette out there with that stuff. And at one point we had cut off all these salmon heads, and they were big coho salmon. And I was so hungry the next day that I went out, found the salmon heads that I cut off, smashed them into a paste, and I just drank it like it was like Jello.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was raw.
Which brings me to my next question. Where do you poop?
Okay, so you only poop when you eat, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I went about 5 times. So that tells you how many times I really ate something substantial.
And how long were you there?
40 days, start to finish.
And you only poop 5 times?
5 times. I try to tell people it's kind of like, you know, you go to like a place like, I don't know, Carrabba's or something, you get a big caloric meal. If you were to take like 4 of those big dinners at Carrabba's for 40 days, that is the total amount of calories I probably put in, probably 20,000 calories.
Wow.
In 40 days. Yeah, and you're burning between 4,000 and 5,000 calories. You can't sleep at night. You're freezing. The anxiety of starving is probably the worst part. And for a couple months after the show, I would get these crazy anxiety attacks, and I couldn't figure out why. And finally it hit me, like, I'm just hungry.
Yeah.
When I would get hungry, your body like remembers, like, oh, I'm starving. So and you got to tell yourself, like, no, I'm not starving. I'm okay. So
that's crazy.
You don't, and they give us like the most cursory exam afterwards. They're like, they call you up just to cover their bases legally and say, like, hey, how you doing? You feel like you're okay mentally? You know, you're sitting there like sobbing in the hotel room, like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good. And then you hang up, and then that's it. You know, check that box. But yeah, we were all I'm telling you, everybody on the show talks about it. Even if you win, that show messes you up quite a bit. It does.
How long until you feel like you're back to normal after the show's over?
8 months.
Really?
8 months. 8 months it took. Yeah, it took about 4 months for me to, like, I was too weak to walk or hold my daughter when I got back. They just sent us right home. So, like, you know, it was the craziest feeling. They helicoptered us out. I hadn't stepped on concrete for like 40 days.
Yeah.
Stepping on concrete actually like hurt my knees. It was real strange, you know, hard surface. And then a day after that, they just sent us home, and they're like, all right, we'll be in contact. And, you know, they just dump you kind of. So I had to get home, and I had to figure out how to eat again, and I was still losing weight. So it was pretty alarming. It took a long time.
Obviously, everybody that's watching the show as they're watching is, I wonder what I would do. I wonder how I would survive. And then I got on the show when we came back, and I was like, we need to go out in the woods for a weekend and see who can survive out there. And I'm just talking about doing it for a weekend. I think it'd be hilarious. But have you watched Alone?
Absolutely. Oh, dude, if you're any type of competitor, I watched and took notes on every season. I mean, I threw myself into it. I YouTubed every single one of these survivalists just to pick up tips and tricks. And you know that's better for mental preparation. Unless you're practicing this stuff constantly, it's just all head knowledge, because you get out there and it's a totally different game. I like to tell people, like, hey, just go into your backyard, and that's the same environment. You know, go in your backyard and try to survive a week. You don't even have to go far. Yeah, you got to figure it out.
I watched this show, and some of the teams, they had these tarps, and they built these campsites, and they got in there and had the fire where the fire would blow into the thing. And I thought, these guys are good. Then I watched Alone. And these bitches are out there making log cabins with their bare hands.
They're
like,
insane.
oh, wow, those people are insane. That way, but
Alone is the next level.
Yeah,
Alone is the next level. You watch those guys, and they're the real deal. You know, I'm a high school teacher, and I this is my like passion, but it's not my lifestyle. And these guys out there are so knowledgeable. And the other thing about like survival is, like, it's a constant warfare game. And you're always learning. In my opinion, I don't think that you could ever learn enough survival stuff. It's a lifelong kind of pursuit.
Yeah, When I was a kid, I was a Boy Scout, and I went to a Boy Scout camp, and there was this merit badge that was wilderness survival, and they basically gave you a small packet of matches and a tarp, and was like, dropped us off in the woods and said, see you tomorrow. And we only had to spend the night there. But I was also 13 years old, so it was hard. But also, after you do it, you really feel like, I've accomplished something. I can survive out here, even though it was only one night for me. You must feel like now any task that comes your way, you're like, I can handle this.
Anything. Honestly, that was the best takeaway from that. Was one, just making my kids proud so that their kids can look at their dad and say, my dad's awesome. And then the second thing is that, I don't feel like there's anything within reason. You know, I wouldn't jump into Alaska again with just a knife or anything like that. Yeah. but I feel like there's just nothing I can't do if you put your mind to it and you have enough wherewithal inside your head.
That's the other problem that I have, is that my kids will be watching, and I don't want them to be like, yeah, my dad's the one that pooped himself while he was sleeping.
I couldn't. Yeah. It was a big thought. I mean, me and Paul talked about it all day, and the interviewers would get you to just sob. You know, it's day 21, you're starving, and they'd sit you down, and they'd say, hey, how you feeling today? And you're like, yeah, I'm good. You're in a great mood. And then they'd say, what do you think your kids are doing right now? The tears would just start. You're like, they would get you. They're so good at getting every emotion out of you. It's like, really, like, they know what they're doing. So it's pretty wild.
What about the people, like, the other thing I thought of is I get pretty lonely out there without my wife, and there's some girls out there, and I'm like, I'm gonna just, like, not that we're gonna have sex, but I mean, I'd want to sleep up against this girl, maybe.
No, that's true. Yeah. That's true. So Seth, like, him and his wife have a great relationship, but having Angie around, really calm set down, because Seth has never been separated from his wife. They're together pretty much, doing everything together, and they hike and they climb. And when he was away from her was the first time on Outlast, and he was having a real problem with it. So he bonded with Angie, and I could just see it. He was taking care of her, and he was like real nurturing towards her. So having that female presence around, like if, in lieu of your wife, nothing, no hanky panky's going on. No one,
right.
Trust me, that's the first thing that shuts down when you're starving. You don't care. Your body's just like, I don't need this.
And your balls probably stink.
Dude, we smelled by the last day. Jumping in that water was the first bath I took in 40 days. So let me just tell you, it was great. It was like, all right, I'm clean now. It was wild.
Well, let me tell everybody who hasn't seen it. The show is called Outlast. It's on Netflix. There's 2 seasons. This is Nick Radner. Nick is a teacher and a high school wrestler. He's one of the. I'm not going to give away anything, but he's one of the highlights of the show. And it turns out he's right here in the Tampa Bay area. I really enjoyed watching him, man. I love talking to you about it. I'm sure I have a million more questions, but I don't want to keep you all day.
No problem, man.
Any thought, any plans and anything else? Like, I would love to see them bring back like a best of like some people from the first season and some from the second season, or throw you guys.
Let me tell you, if it's already in the works, I'm going without a second thought.
Oh, that's good.
Without a second thought.
Good to know.
So hopefully you see me again.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for taking the time for us today, man. Good to talk to you.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Mike. Have a good day.
All right, Nick. You too. See you later. There you go, Nick Radner. Awesome. Dude, I really loved the show.
Yeah,
I really
it's a great
did.
show.
And you don't have to know anything or like anything about camping or outdoors or anything. We watched it, my wife and I, on a whim, and we watched the second season. And the second season, we watched like 5 episodes, and we're like, this show's great. And then realized they didn't drop the second half of the season, so we went back and watched the first season first. It's really good. It's really an entertaining show.
Yeah, I started watching it on your recommendation, and it's good. I like it.
It's just like he said, watching these people bond and break down and then see who the tough ones are and survive. In the beginning, when the first person fires a flare and they quit, you're like, pussy, and then you realize I would have been out 3 days before this guy. There's no way I would have made it. I'm glad I got to ask him. I was dying to know what they got to bring with them when they went there. And the other thing is, I would cheat. Wouldn't you cheat?
Yeah, of course.
Like I'd sew matches into my sleeves so that when I went, I'm like, I got my shirt.
But the cameras would catch you.
I know.
You'd be like this, looking around and stuff, and the camera would be over here, just all dumb looking and lighting a match.
Listen, if you think that you have any skills at all, watch Outlast, but then watch Alone. The difference between like Nick is a guy who likes to be outdoors and climb mountains and all that stuff, and he threw himself in this situation. These people on Alone, they're like, I'm made to live out in the woods by myself. This guy he's out there fishing, and I go, where did he get a fishing pole? And then I look, and he carved the fishing pole. But he didn't just carve it. He carved it, and then he carved the reel, and then he had a crank. He actually whittled a crank, so when you crank the fishing pole, it turns and brings it. It's unbelievable. And this woman's out there, and she goes, well, first thing I'm going to do is get some wood and work on my log cabin. And I went, okay, log cabin. She built a log cabin with a roof and a door and everything. And she would go in her cabin and sleep in her cabin. And I go, I just watched a team of people struggle to put a canvas tent up. And this lady just made a log cabin by herself, notching the wood and fitting the wood in and then taking mud and filling in the space. It was unbelievable.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. Outlast is a show Nick is on, and Alone is the other show. Both of them on Netflix. Check them out.
By the way, the clothing that he was talking about is the same stuff that Bear Grylls promotes on his show, which I know it's not the same, but yeah, that clothing is like real deal. You buy, it's like one pair of pants will last you forever. They're made for hot and cold, so you don't need to worry which environment you're in. The same with the jackets and socks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's like it's legit survival stuff.
I'm pretty sure, I didn't ask him about this, but I'm pretty sure in the show he says that he had to borrow the money from his sister to get all this stuff to be on the show. So he was like one of the reasons why he was, worked out so well.
Cool.
All right, we got to take a break. It's the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone. They say there will not be another debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, which I think is probably smart for her. I wouldn't give him an opportunity to come back. And I'm not saying that I'm happy for her. I'm just saying
they won it, though. They won another
Trump's
debate.
the one that says he will not debate.
Yes, he is. She wants to have the debate. He does not want to have the debate because he looked dumb in the last one.
Yeah, which I don't even understand why she wants another debate.
Because she's manhandling him now. And the people that are in the middle of the road, she's able to sway those people.
But how many rematches have you seen where the person wins? They lost the fight, and then they come back and they go.
If you were Donald Trump, would you do Joe Biden again?
Oh no. It could not have gone better.
No, for Joe Biden.
Right. It could not have gone better for Donald Trump. So you go, there you go, done. Why am I going to fight this guy again? I destroyed him.
But she's still in it, and he's still in it, and she's like, look, there's undecided voters. I think that this.
But all the polls are saying that she's way ahead.
I think you go out and you meet the people and you do the stuff and you go, did you see what I did? I would just replay it. I would just have a website that just replayed it on a loop of her beating him in the debate.
I'm surprised.
All her highlights.
Trump doesn't want to have another one.
I mean,
that's surprising to me. It's like
he I would think that he felt like he had to get some sort of retribution.
Right. Like you think you'd want to make up for the second time. You're more prepared. You kind of know what to expect, what she's going to try and do. And then you learn from your mistakes.
Or does he know the power that be will not let him win? And he's just like, it will do just more damage than anything.
I think he also said it had to be on Fox, and they said no.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So I think so. I'm not totally sure.
Also, he just found out that she's black.
Yeah. Are you following any stuff with this affidavit that they sent to be investigated by the Department of Justice?
No. For what?
ABC?
For who?
About the debate and how they gave her the questions beforehand.
I read that where it said that, but I don't know. I don't see that there's any proof of that.
Well, there is an actual legal affidavit that they sent in. You can look it up, but there seems to be no traction in the court system.
Who
yet.
sent it in?
There is a whistleblower at ABC.
Oh, whistleblower.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. If there's no traction, that means there's probably no evidence.
Well, I think I don't think we'd hear about it until they actually did anything.
Right.
But who knows anymore? I don't think.
Can I be honest with you? I could have given the questions. I could write the questions on what they're going to be.
Yeah, but there's. I mean, obviously, I'm not very familiar with the affidavit, but there were some things in there that I read that they weren't allowed to ask questions about the pot stuff and her being attorney general because they knew that Trump would be able to destroy her, stuff like that, where you go, all right, well, they very leaned more towards Kamala to make him seem crazy.
See, and I'm going to tell you that a lot of people were saying that, and I didn't really. It seemed like they don't respect Trump, but it didn't seem to me like they were trying to give her the edge. They did put her to the stone on a couple of things that she tried to back away from. They'd ask her a question, and she'd be like, well, my mother was an immigrant. And they're like, yeah, okay, we get it, but tell us about this. They did do that a couple of times. They did it to both of them.
Sorry, Jay.
I was saying, I did feel that a lot of the times the questions was like, President Trump, you did this horrible thing. Harris, what do you think about the horrible thing that President Trump did?
That I don't deny.
Yeah.
That I don't deny.
Yeah. And they also, in the affidavit, they also touched on how the fact checkers were not supposed to fact check anything that Kamala said, but to fact check everything that Trump said and to be live with it as it was happening.
Well, that's insane.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
that is terrible. The other thing that Trump has working against him is Jan Stans Vance. JD Vance is a complete and utter moron.
Is he the worst than Sarah Palin?
Dude.
I have to tell you, Sarah Palin was at least good looking at the end of the day.
Yeah.
This guy's wearing makeup.
Same eye makeup, by the way.
Yeah, this guy's wearing eye makeup and making me think that he bangs couches. I don't know what's going on.
What a mess that guy is.
I didn't like him.
Meme.
Dude, I didn't like him before, but Gio always makes me laugh almost every day. He points out something that JD Vance did and was like, God damn, Gio, you're right. That guy is
Yesterday, JD Vance was having a photo op where he was complaining about the cost of groceries, holding up eggs and claiming they cost $4 a dozen, while the display right behind him said $2.99.
What is that?
I have no idea. He's been mocked over it. And I actually read an article this morning that said they think that JD Vance is a Democratic operative.
Yeah, that's what I think
he's
too.
doing things to destroy Trump's chances of winning.
I think he's an inexperienced politician, not ready for the big leagues.
He said eggs when Kamala Harris took office were short of $1.50 a dozen. Now a dozen eggs will cost you around $4. All while standing next to a sign that said the eggs were $2.99.
And he's holding like the eggs in the grocery store.
He said, thanks to Kamala Harris's inflationary policies, Pennsylvania actually has seen some of the worst grocery price increases of the entire nation. And again, it's because she cast the deciding vote of the Inflation Explosion Act.
Jesus.
And he said, well, what they did, they fact checked this and said, well, some eggs do cost over $4. The average price it was actually $3.20 in August.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You lose that. Even if what you're saying is true, once you're standing in front of the sign that says $2.99
what are we
over
doing?
your shoulder, you lose everything you say becomes a joke.
Like,
And it's like, does he not realize that, or does the camera guy set him up?
Or his people, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gio
'Cause,
made a great point. He's like, where are his people during this? Like,
Right.
how are they not stepping in before this is taken?
Or are they the ones who are helping? You know what I mean?
Like the donut shop when he was in the donut shop, and a little awkward.
So
and he's
awkward.
like, I'm JD Vance. I'm running for vice president. She's like, okay.
Cool. Did you want a dozen donuts? Because I'm working right now.
And again, it's him and his people putting these things out. Why would you put that out? Like after filming that?
Can they take a note out of the Fox page where like, hey, we're going to a diner tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's get everybody in the diner that wants to be there. Everybody that loves us. No blue hats at all.
No
all
surprises.
Red, no
Yeah.
surprises.
But it's like you can tell he don't want to be there. His people are telling him, okay, we're going to go to this donut shop. We'll get the press there. We'll take some pictures. It'll look like you're a real man of the people.
But
and then they're like, what?
Here's the crazy thing, Carmen, is you assume that there are people that are in charge of handling him that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Listen, we've all met people that are in charge of stuff that you go, how is this guy in charge? Or how is this lady in charge? It's amazing how dumb people are, and they don't even realize it until everyone goes, oof, that was
Too
terrible.
late.
And then they go, what? What did I do?
Wouldn't it be great if they accidentally took him to that the Wiener Circle in Chicago where those black ladies yell at you? Hi, I'm JD Vance. Shut up, bitch! What you want on your hot dog? Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Oh my
It's just wild. It's fun to watch.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, look, nobody's really. The vice president's not really doing a lot for the election, but it definitely can do a lot to hurt the election.
Sure, yeah.
And Trump, when they asked him about JD Vance, like, I don't really talk to him.
Yeah, they did say that in the debate. He goes, he can't speak for me. We didn't really talk a lot.
Because you do want that a little bit of assurance where, oh, something happens here. At least we got this guy is going to step in or this lady is going to step in. And I do like her or him, but now you're just like, oh boy, this guy's crazy.
And at the rate in which you're shooting people, you really got to take that into consideration.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. President Waltz.
Walls.
Well, Waltz is from The Godfather. That's why. President Walls. I don't know if I could say that. Plus, he just looks like your old gym teacher.
Yeah,
He's just smiley.
He basically is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like think back. When was the last president that was really presidential? I mean, Obama was pretty good as far as the looks and the sound. I'm not saying policies or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if we're casting
on
for
the surface.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're casting a movie, every president after Obama in a movie was Obama. You
I know.
what I mean?
I know he wasn't president, but Dick Cheney seemed very presidential.
No, but Dick Cheney was very.
He was a behind the scenes.
He was very
But
Darth
that's-
Vader.
But that's the thing. I
Yeah.
like that guy as our president because every other country was like, "What? Yeah, okay, I'll do what you want."
Yeah, but I also felt like at any time he was going to go now and just a dome was going to come down over America. You know what I mean? We gotcha, and then pour the gas out.
When I
get that.
saw, what was the movie that Michael Moore did about 9/11?
Fahrenheit 9/11. Yeah.
When I saw that and I walked out, I was like, Dick Cheney is the devil.
Oh, dude.
I mean, that was the first mainstream documentary about insider stuff like that you were like, I mean, I didn't walk out of there going that it was an inside job, but I did walk out of there thinking the profiting that he did off of 9/11 and the subsequent wars that happened after that. I mean, he was facilitating all that stuff and profiting from it. It's all right there.
Even
it
worse.
was real hard.
What do you remember the Donald Rumsfeld press conference where he talks about the trillions of dollars that went missing from the Pentagon's budget, and then the next day the insurance claim matched that exact amount of money that he said went missing?
There were so many of those things that you couldn't deny after seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty hard.
But yet our government would never do anything like that. And they only have our best interests.
Cut to all the wars right now that we're getting involved in, all the proxy wars, all the profits everybody's making.
I'm coming to we're just screwed either way.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
anymore who wins. We're
You know,
screwed.
it's so funny. So obviously we do news every morning, and every morning all of us are going through the news stuff. Every time I see Zelensky, I go, it's still going on.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's another thing. This is still happening.
And they're still sending him money and only
Washing
it's-
money.
Yeah, and people it's not accounted for.
Right.
Yeah. So whoopee.
Wild.
Now Israel's, getting ready to go. We're sending troops to Israel from the Pentagon. So,
Have you seen the clip of Harris and she's talking about in the first time in so
Oh my
many
God,
years
yes. Oh,
yeah.
we have no troops based in any war zone around the world, and then cut to just a camp of soldiers. Like, so where the hell are we at?
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, 727-579-1025 or 800-771-1025 are our phone numbers. Carmen, I can't see the phone lines.
Okay.
Can you see them?
Yes.
Do I need to grab any phone calls?
There's one right now that I have not been able to screen yet.
Just grab them. I just want to get through them because I got to open the lines for Dom. So,
Gotcha.
Mike Calta Show, good morning.
Hey, morning, Mike. How you doing?
Good. What's happening?
It's funny that people say that Kamala's not, ready, and I'm a Trump guy myself, but it's amazing that the machine, like everybody thought that when Biden dropped out, she's not ready. She's going to get crushed in the debate. She's going to this and that. And it's just amazing how the machine of whether it's the GOP or the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, it's amazing when they're behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Look what happened.
I didn't think, like I said after Trump was shot, I said there's no way in the world the election's over right now. And then after the debate, I was like, oh, yeah, there's no way he's winning right now. So, yeah, you're right. When they want you to be there, they'll get you there.
And it's funny because I haven't been looking at the polls, but when Carmen said that, I pulled over and actually was looking. I actually put in just the general poll, whether it's NBC or whatever, and it's right. I mean, right now it says 50 to 47. I don't know how accurate this is, or but it is. And I know back when like Bush was running and Obama and McCain, they were within a point with each other. You know what I mean? But 3 points or 3%, as it says, is that's a pretty hefty lead. And if there's
the only thing I could say to that though is keep in mind that the last Trump election that he went against Hillary Clinton, it was the same thing where it was a little bit closer, but they were like, "There's no way that Trump's going to win." The polls are saying he's not going to win, and he came out and he crushed. So you never know what's going to happen. I mean, my opinion right now is that she's got this hands down. I think the debate sealed the deal. I think people who are on the fence and people who weren't sure if they could vote for him again decided definitely not to vote for him again. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, like I was driving over the road years ago when Trump was going against Clinton, and obviously you saw Florida, but I saw all across the country, and I saw different areas, and there were a lot of Clinton. Obviously, if you went to the Rust Belt states or the Bible Belt states, it wouldn't matter. It depends on where you were for Clinton, and obviously Florida's red. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. But you're right. When I woke up, I thought hands down Clinton had it, and then when I woke up and saw that he won. I was like, "There's no way. There's no way to try, right?" So I guess it will be interesting, man. But I love the show, guys.
50 days or something like that. Thank you for the call, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, we were 50-some days or something like that.
I did see my very first F. Harris flag off the back of a pickup truck. It doesn't have the same ring to it as F. Biden. I didn't feel like.
I gotta tell you, I do love the video of them saying there is no way Donald Trump will be president.
Yeah.
It's impossible. And then cut to. I can't believe it, folks.
I remember going to bed that night. I was living in Plant City, and I was just like, there's no point in watching this anymore. She has it in the bag. And I went to bed, and I woke up, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
My favorite was that James Comey movie that they made, and Comey's wife and daughter were so sad. I can't believe he won. Shut up.
Did it also make you feel like the powers that be would never let that happen again?
No.
Really?
No.
When every news station was shocked, it almost made you feel like, why are they so shocked?
January 6th, okay, say what you want about it, but January 6th was the first time I've seen this country rebel against the government on a small scale that it was. We certainly weren't like it is in Beirut or when they try to overthrow Gaddafi or one of these things. But it was the first time I saw it that it happened, and I think everybody got scared. I really do. Look, I don't think that they were scared that they were going to do anything that day, but they realized if this is an organized, if this was organized and it had been planned out and it had been carried out by different people, this could be a real big problem.
Which is kind of shocking to hear because just months prior to that, the Black Lives Matter movement was happening and they were literally burning stores to the ground.
And they let them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah,
I don't understand
I think that was.
Yeah.
I also think that was. You should burn the stores down.
But that's what I'm saying. And I also think January.
Yeah.
I also think January 6th was like, hey, you guys should get into the White House. Here's how. We're going to move this gate for you.
Yeah, but I think there was different people doing that. You know what I'm saying?
You do?
Yeah, I think it was different. I think it's. I don't know. I think it's bad on both sides. I think it's a little bit of this, a little
Chaos
of that.
agents.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's the same group puppeteering, both sides.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is we're the puppet Spanish.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We're being dragged through this whole.
I just gotta relax. Take it
I'm the
easy.
master of puppets. I got my Metallica tickets.
Damn right.
All right, Carmen, if you wouldn't mind, please clear the phone lines.
Got it.
And then when we come back from break, Dominic Ferriello will be in the studio. If you got a question for Dom, it's time to ask the Dom. 727-579-1025 or 800-771-1025. Ask the Dom in studio next on 1025 The Bone. Those are the phone numbers if you want to talk to Dominic Ferriello, who I assume is in studio with us right now.
I'm here. Good morning.
Dom, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good. I'm pretty tired. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you had a big birthday this past weekend.
Yeah.
Still partying, a little after effects of that.
I did party a little bit. I did some drinking.
Good for you.
Which I don't normally do. Well, Fatty's on a diet. He should not be drinking.
He did some drinking, Dom, and he kept on telling me that he was not drunk. He was in fact drunk.
Yeah.
Well, I hear you're doing very well on the diet. You're keeping it up. I'm on a diet myself. I've lost 10 pounds in about 2
Don't try to
weeks.
out-sexy me, Dom.
No, I don't think I can do that.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to fit in my suits better.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Suits. Thank God I don't have to wear suits a lot because that is one of the things that I could put on and really not feel comfortable in. I feel like an old school FBI agent, but like the old ones who couldn't chase the bad guys.
What really pisses me off is on myself is when I eat too much or I let myself go and I have a court or hearings or trial, and I want to wear my nice Italian suits and I can't fit in the damn things. And and then I got to go to the American suits because then they're for the bigger boned people.
Yeah, you look like you look like you're not as good of a lawyer when you walk in with all those just plain old American suits.
Nah, I always feel better when I put my Italian suits on. I don't know, it's just it's more slimming. I just feel better, and then my arguments are better. It's like I know more law. I know it's weird.
He breaks out in Italian in the middle of it. If you got a question for Dom, now is the time to get through. The lines are fully open. 727-579-1025 or 800-771-1025. Did we see any ending to the Tyreek Hill thing?
Well, I don't think they're having any formal charges. I think the next step is whether or not Drew Rosenhaus, his agent down there, is going to move forward with any legal action against law enforcement. And I don't know if that has commenced. It might be one of those situations where, they didn't arrest him, they released him and everybody else that was there so they can play the game. That was the last game they won.
Yeah.
So this, be it as it may, but if there's going to be any civil implications, I don't know how that's going to interact with the relationship with, the Dolphins and the law enforcement community. So that there might be, hey, it was an unfortunate situation. You might just let it go because of the relationship. And I don't know if that's true or not. Again, this is just me answering your question.
Sure.
Speculating.
I'm reading a headline right now that says Tyreek Hill hires George Floyd lawyer to help get Miami cop fired.
Oh, that's
Now,
big time.
So that may not necessarily be a civil suit per se. I mean, if they're looking for, I don't think he's looking for money. Obviously, he's got plenty of money. So it's not going to be a monetary thing. But I think it might be a moralistic purpose. This individual breached SOP, standard operating procedure, and perhaps they should not be employed if that in fact is accurate, or if this officer has conduct that's unbecoming to law enforcement, or if they breach their own administrative policies and procedures. Then that's probably what the end game is from the headline that Carmen just read.
Interesting. Interesting.
But you don't know the history of this officer. Have they had reports before? Have they been written up before? Is this one of several instances, or is this just the first time? And maybe this law enforcement officer, as we all love and respect law enforcement officers, just had an off day, or just was short tempered, or whatever the case may be. Everyone has a bad day. Not to say that justifies being aggressive or potentially violating constitutional rights, but nonetheless, it might be just an isolated incident where he can be in training, take some type of classes, to deal with those type of things, there's a lot of remedies above, but that depends on the union. If they're
I like that he's fighting back.
Well, if you watch that video again, and I've watched it several times, you talked about it on my show after your show. We had some callers that comment on it. I think that both parties could handle things differently. I think it's a great training video moving forward for a lot of people personally. But we'll have to let that system play out. Carmen, thanks for the headline. I didn't know that.
All right. 727-579-1025 or 800-771-1025. Carmen, will you grab those lines for me? Let's go to Trevor. Trevor, you're on with Ask Dom. What do you got, Trevor?
Hey, Dom. How you doing today? I like the show. Appreciate you having me on. I had lent my friend some money, which you probably should never do. I did write up a contract and everything like that. It was for materials for his house to get it sold.
And do you say you did or didn't write up a contract? I didn't hear the word.
Well, we did. Okay. Yes, it was notarized and everything like that.
Oh, wow. Smart.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it was a 6-month contract. I verbally told him, I was like, I think you're pressing it a little bit too quick. I'll give you 8 months. It was for a $5,000 interest every 8 months.
Now, let me stop you for a second. You got a contract for 6 months. You verbally told him 8?
I'm sorry?
You have a contract that says 6 months to repay, but you verbally told him 8.
That is correct. The only reason I did so...
Yeah, but there's no reason to have a contract if you're going to ancillary change the terms in writing that aren't affecting binding under the written document.
Right. I understand. The only reason that had happened that way was I couldn't get a hold of him at the time I was writing the contract, and to make the numbers easier for me as far as percentage-wise, 6 months versus 8 months was a little easier to write up.
I got you. I got the math is easier. Did they start making payments, or have they not paid you anything?
So he did give me some interest before he paid me back. To make a long story short, 14 months later, he gives me a cashier's check, which is about $5,000 less than what it should be. He's telling me, well, that's what we agreed on. I said, well, that was on a 8-month contract, not a 14-month contract. The only thing that I have was his house up for, his house was equity for me. But now that he sold his house, I don't know if I can go after him or. Well, I know I can bring him to small claims court, but
you can. Yeah, I mean, if he breached the contract under the terms and conditions, it's amount less than $8,000. So you can go to small claims. If the equity is gone, you're not going to be able to attach a lien to the house, assuming that you should have done that ahead of time. If you had the collateral was the home, based on the contract, right, and he was in breach, long before 14 months or before he sold the house. I don't know what the time sequence was.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that because he was a good friend of mine.
Well, there's your problem.
Yeah,
you can't do business like that. Because what happens is emotions bleed into the relationship between the two parties in a contractual sense. And then that speaks, and I speak from experience. I'm not just lecturing you because of what you've gone through. I have been a victim of the same thing because you're good-hearted, sound like a nice guy. You want to help your friend, but at the same time, you don't want to be taken advantage of. So you had a contract for a monetary agreement for compensation back for the loan. But I've been in the same situation. I've learned from my mistakes, and same here accordingly. But the answer is a small claims court action, $5,000. And that contract is going to be evidence exhibit number 1.
Okay, and then also, can he just refuse to pay? Because there's.
Well, he's got to respond to the. He's got to respond, and then if he doesn't, then you can find. Now, if you want a lawyer that does this, we have a lawyer network that does breach of contracts claims. So you just go to acidom.com. You don't necessarily need a lawyer for this, but if you want one, we can give you one. But if they don't respond, you just do a motion for default, and then the judgment will then be granted by the court. Now you got a paper verdict. Now you got to go try to collect. And then you have another lawyer for that, which is debit, credit, and collections law attorney. We got a different lawyer for that in network. So depending on where you are in the phase.
Yeah, I mean, I could really screw him if I wanted to, because in the contract, I also have in there to where he would have to pay any attorney fees for me to collect any money.
Maybe. Depends on his affirmative defenses. We haven't heard his side of the story.
Well, it's in the contract.
Yes, but I don't know what he's paid you, documents, ancillary agreements, things, there's always another side of the story. So that's what makes law so much fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you tried to be a good friend, sir, and so you got bit in the ass.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, he got paid some back. He's just short $5,000.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant amount.
It is. That's not.
It was a $50,000 loan, so I mean, it wasn't a small change.
$50,000.
What do you do that you just got $50,000 laying around to lend out to people?
My father had passed away, left me a little bit, and I was just trying to help my friend out.
My father's not going to leave me nothing. I don't understand that. I don't know. Neither one of my parents.
You're going to leave your son quite a bit. I promise you that.
I hope so. I mean, that's the whole point. I'm trying to make life easy for them. But man, I really got the crappy end of the stick there. All right, Trevor. Thank you. Good luck with your situation.
No problem. Appreciate it.
I'll see you. There you go. I mean, the guy's trying to be a good friend, and he ends up getting screwed out of the whole deal.
If we've done this show a long time with you, and one of the things I tell people is do not enter contracts with friends. Do not buy vehicles or cars or leases with friends or boyfriends or girlfriends, and unless you're married.
Yeah,
because that's where you, Carmen. I'm talking to you too.
Listen,
I don't see a ring over there.
I bought my house myself.
Amen.
My name's on it. That's it.
That's right. That's what I call Carmen power over there.
He pays rent.
And just for the listeners, because
she's got him by the.
She's good.
Yeah.
Listen, if we're gonna be honest, he has me. I love him to death. So.
By the way, Attorney Jason Valkenburg, I'll give you his information.
Okay, thank you.
Let's get the prenup language in now. Yes.
No, I think I'm going to need you for something pretty soon.
Well, you call me anytime. No, I'm here for you. But all joking aside, for listeners, is just be careful who you get involved with legally, because if the relationship sours, if you're not married, or even if you are married, sometimes that can sour too. So you just got to be very, very careful who you get in a business relationship with or who you enter contracts with, because we had years we've been doing this, numerous calls, Mike, to your show and mine over the same type of issues.
Yeah. I have a quick question.
Ooh, Carmen, ladies and gentlemen, Carmen.
Because Chad thinks we should call the HOA. I'm pretty sure that it's up to me. We think something may have died in our vents, in our attic, something like that, because last night around like 8 o'clock, there was 15 just huge horseflies that appeared out of that appeared out of nowhere. No door, no window was open.
It might be from your lady parts.
Unclean Carmen, that might be Satan. Satan's in your walls.
Right. So they just appeared. We made some traps, this and that, and I was like, I think something died in our vents, and he was like, well, we got to call the HOA. But I own a townhouse, so my insurance covers the inside of the house. The HOA covers the outside of the house. So like I said, I think it's up to me.
Dom, can I answer?
Chad thinks it's up to the HOA.
I think it's 100% up to Carmen if it's inside the house.
But we don't know where it is.
Well, is, regardless of who it is, you want whatever is causing that out.
Right.
And to do that quicker is going to be up to you.
Right.
The HOA is going to take forever.
Right.
So if just on a health status,
yes,
you call somebody to get in there and start snooping around, and then if it turns out it's the HOA's issue, then you send them a bill.
Okay, because again, we can't smell anything or anything. Again, just 15 large flies appeared out of nowhere inside the house.
Carmen, I would suggest to you Home Team Pest Defense, who has been doing my house for 20 years now. I would have them come on out. They will, if it's something in your house, they'll find it for you right away, and then you can handle it from there.
Carmen, did you find the missing ribeye? Maybe that has something to do with it.
Oh my God, those dogs are in deep crap.
They had a treat.
It might be part of your problem.
Listen, no, but the problem is Cowboy ate both of them. We know this. Cowboy ate both of them. Had no problem at all. I give thanks to me homemaking their food. So. Anyway, he had a great dinner last night.
I would seriously check that out, because one time when I was like a teenager, we had my girlfriend had an apartment, and there were flies there. We couldn't figure out where they were coming from. They weren't big horse flies; they were like little gnat things. And we're like, what is that? Where are they coming from? And we figured it out. We were about to make hamburgers, and we put the hamburgers on a tray, and we put them in the oven. And then we're like, you know what? Let's just go out to eat. We'll go to the movies or whatever. And we forgot to take the hamburgers out of the oven. So they sat in there for a couple of days.
Oof.
And since it wasn't on, we never turned the oven on. We totally forgot about it. And that rotted meat just,
So 2 things. 1, can you send me that information so I can call after the show, Mike?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Seriously, they're great. And they'll come over. And if it's something in your house, they'll find it for you in 5 minutes.
Awesome. And 2, thank you, Dom, for proving me right once again. Suck it, Chad. I'm right.
Dom, what do we got coming up on your show tomorrow?
So tomorrow has been rotated to Thursday. The
Lightning preseason.
Preseason game is tomorrow.
I thought that is tonight.
Well,
yes. First preseason game is tonight.
The first one. Well, they have one tomorrow then.
Oh, okay. Yes. So they're back to back.
Well, they must be because I just saw John Brennan before I got in this morning, and they said
he has a history of screwing things up.
Well, they gave me the chart they give me every year before the Lightning season, but I just got it this morning. And tomorrow's show, for whatever reason, my understanding is for the Lightning, is being rotated to Thursday. In fact, I just got a text from Keaton A. Mo. He's going to be my board op on Thursday. So it's going to be myself, Cat, Spike. We are supposed to have Jack in with Crack Up Cancer. It's the event that I have them come on the show every year. It's a wonderful charity event. It's a great cause. So I'm going to have to rotate him from tomorrow to Thursday. And then we also have a candidate coming in for county commission. So I got to do some rescheduling because I just found out this morning. So just heads up for the folks listening.
All right. Well, then you're in on Thursday. And if you need to get a hold of Dom in the meantime, 813-251-5550. That is the phone number to reach his office, or you can always go to asktodom.com and you can email him from there. He does respond to your emails. And, of course, he'll be back here with us next week. Dom, thank you.
You're welcome, Mike. Thanks, guys. Good morning.
We must take a quick break. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone. I'm very excited to announce that Friday on this show, John from John Breaks Bad News will be joining us on the show. If you don't follow this guy, you're missing out. His account is John Breaks Bad News. And what you do is you send him a message. If you want it to be done fast, you got to pay some money, but it's free. And you send him a message and you say, Spanish, please call Spanish and tell him he's been fired because we caught him doing weird stuff in the stairwell. And then he calls him up randomly. Hey, is it Spanish? Yeah, this is John from John Breaks Bad News. I have some bad news for you. Mike Calta said that you're fired because you got caught doing some weird stuff in the stairwell. And then he's like, what? And then he's like, all right, I love you. Bye. And he hangs up. You'll probably be the only one that says I love you back to him.
For sure, yeah.
But he definitely does look for that. And he's let most of it, it's like dumb stuff where you call up and they're like, hey, Fred, your buddy Bill wants to tell you you're a real a-hole. But I like the ones every once in a while. Like I got one yesterday where he called a guy and he was like, hey, Bill and Mary wanted me to tell you that you're a crappy realtor and that you were so hard to deal with and they don't, it's great.
That's awesome.
And then the guy goes, okay, well, thanks. He's like, all right, love you, bye. But he's up to August, like, because if you go and fill it out on his website, he's got to catch up and he's still doing requests from August. But if you pay like $50, it'll move you to the head of the line.
All right.
Yeah,
will he be breaking bad news tomorrow?
Friday. Yes.
He will be.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Oh, somebody's getting bad news on Friday.
I don't like this.
You shouldn't.
Me?
Yeah, somebody shouldn't. Maybe more than one person.
And it may not even be from Mike. It might be from somebody else in your life.
That's what I'm like. Who could?
David.
So it's probably going to be Joe or Spanish getting bad news.
Why?
Could be you.
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
would you say that?
I said it could be.
You said probably. That's not could be.
Yeah, could be, probably. I'm wishful thinking that it's not me. Is what that's called.
That would just be a normal day, so that doesn't seem like, anything
yeah,
different.
but it'd be funnier if it was from somebody else.
No.
I don't like it.
It's happening on Friday. That's all I could say.
Great.
Maybe he pulls a swerve and delivers good news.
Doubtful.
This is John from John Breaks Bad News, here to tell you some good news.
This show does not do good news.
It doesn't. It
Not
doesn't
to you,
do
it doesn't.
swerve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always get good news from the show.
Okay.
Must be nice.
Oh, stop! You're on the
I'm
not to be touched list.
I'm kidding.
You're on.
Wait, what?
You're on the.
Yeah,
you're on
don't
the-
touch me.
No, I don't mean.
I feel like we learned this a long time ago. Do not touch people.
I saw that in a meeting. Now I don't do that. My wife walked in here yesterday, and she hasn't been there in a long time. She walks in the studio, and she goes, "Somebody got one of those cinnamon brooms." I go, "Yeah, it's right there." Like she gets, but I don't smell it.
I don't smell it.
Oh, my wife has hand lotion that she was in the bedroom. I'm out in the living room, and I text her. I go, "That stuff smells terrible," because I knew she put it on.
Really?
I can smell. Yeah, you could peel an orange in the attic, and I'll smell it.
I got two smell things. One, my wife's perfume. I would eat it off her body. It smells so good. I would eat it off of you. That's how good it smells.
Hot.
And then the other thing is my daughter. Okay, do you know the room that you poop in?
Yeah.
Do you know the little blue bottle of spray that's there? There's a
no.
little blue bottle. Don't touch it. It's in there. It's like a spray bottle.
Okay.
Like like a poop-pourri kind of type thing. That's what I thought. So I picked it up and I sprayed it, and it smells wonderful. And it's down to just a little bit of juice left. So I said to my wife, "Hey, whatever that poop-pourri stuff is in the bathroom,
Oh no,
we need to get some new stuff." And she goes, "That's not a poop-pourri." I go, "What is it?" "It's in a spray bottle." And she goes, "Juliana made that at some Taylor Swift candle party." I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "They were making candles and they were making lotions and all that stuff, and she made like a spray." I go, "Oh, we need that formula." I love whatever it is, and I don't know what it is. I got Taylor Swift. It smells like Taylor Swift's privates in my
gotta have
bed.
the
It smells
recipe,
wonderful.
I thought you were going to tell me that it was your wife's expensive perfume that she put in a different bottle or something. You know, that's $400 per spray.
Oh,
Whatever she does wear is ridiculously expensive, but I'll allow it. It's definitely worth it. So, DeSantis is giving an update on the hurricane right now. It doesn't look like there's anything happening, and I just heard Dave Osterberg say nothing's really going to happen today or tomorrow. It really is going to be Thursday before we feel any impact. We will be on the air, and we'll be able to give you updates 24 hours a day. If something emergency happens, we will either switch over to one of the weather TV, Fox 13's TV weather, or the hell is that? Or we will go over to whatever National Weather Center is taking over, and we'll let you do that. But in the meantime, if anything happens, we'll break in and we'll give you updates as they're happening. I honestly don't think there's gonna be anything for us to worry about. It's gonna be rain. It's gonna be rain. Rain as
All
usual.
right, Jinxie.
He said nothing would happen, and then terror
But-
struck.
I will say this because we are doing a meeting after this for plans for the station.
Yep.
Which means nothing's gonna happen.
You know why? You're gonna have to go to that meeting
Yeah, well, yeah, that's because it
because you have the least to live for.
No, it involves me. I wouldn't be coming.
You have the least to live for. You have no kids. You have a barren womb.
Childless dog lady.
Yeah, townhouse.
It would. Oh, jeez, you're an idiot. No, so I don't have to drive over the bridge and get stuck here for 2 days.
Are you gonna come here?
So, well, that's what the meeting is about.
Carmen, hurricane party.
Ooh, I haven't been to one of those in forever.
Carmen, this is the safest room in the house if
Right.
a hurricane hits, so you can come and live here.
Well, because last year I drove over here and literally as I was getting on the bridge, they closed the bridge. And then I got stuck over here for half a day. And I was like, I'm never doing that again.
So you have to put some childless soul over there to run the board and then send you over here.
Again, the person who'd be running the board does have a child, but
Who?
It would Corey.
It should be Monica.
Well, Monica lives in Tampa.
Monica's 60 and it has a barren womb.
It's not about your children count. It's about where people live.
It's about what you have to live for.
By the way, Monica lives in the ceiling tiles.
Yes, that is not true.
Shimmies down every day.
No,
I read
that's
that.
true.
Yeah.
What about
Not true.
Spanish and Joe?
Yeah.
I mean, that
Joe
would,
is too frail as a senior
But if
citizen.
the bridge is
That's right.
closed,
That's
a lot of
elder abuse.
debris.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Right.
stay on the
Debris.
same Pete side.
Yeah.
dangerous.
Oh, then
Too
you
dangerous
guys
for me.
you guys go to the station.
Yeah.
That'll
so
work
again,
out.
that is what the meeting is about. But but from prior years, that has not been the case. But Corey has stepped up and said he offers himself as tribute to save me because he knows what happened to me last year, and he was like, I will, run the board for you guys.
Also,
If I
didn't
need-
he get
if need be.
divorced or got divorced? He's probably miserable and looking for you. I'd rather be out in the hurricane than with this bitch.
Oh my God! Way to just put it out there, guy. I don't know.
I learned these things from listening to the radio.
Oh,
so
did you?
I know.
He said it? Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I I made it up. I'm just kidding.
Hey, Corey, got some bad news.
Yeah.
Mike Calta told your whole business.
Hey, Dad, I was just listening to the radio. Are you and Mom getting divorced?
Oh my god.
By the way, Carmen, come over here.
God.
We can get the frozen drink
Margarita
machine out.
machine?
Yeah,
Okay.
make some frozen
I got news
hurricanes.
for you.
Yeah.
It's out already.
Yeah, she doesn't drink anymore.
Well, I'm not drinking right now.
Yeah.
I'll blend up a burger. She'll be fine.
I would totally suck that down.
Wouldn't it be so much fun if we had a sleepover party in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Sleepover makes it weird.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Why?
Pass.
You
I'll
know
see you
why.
guys
Sleepover
in the
doesn't make it
morning.
weird.
You know why.
I'll bring lover Mark. We'll be fine.
No.
Pass.
I'm an
I don't
adult.
want
I
lover
enjoy my
Mark.
own home.
I don't want Lover Mark. I don't want your garage guy friend or any of those people coming here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Speaking of sleepovers and stuff, a lot of people asking what the deal is for Metallica for the camp out, if that's going to happen.
So
We're
here's
working
the
on
thing.
some
I'll
stuff.
tell you what the situation is. The lot that we have, it's not zoned for that. Not saying it's not going to happen, but right now it's taking a little bit of a push through. So we can't have any overnight. You can't have any overnight
I
staying.
got to be honest with you, overnight, smoke-overnight. You know,
I think that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
but
Big
you have
camp out.
it. You have it where you can party during the day and then go to the concert, and then the next day,
Yeah, but the problem is they're separated by
Yeah.
days. So Friday night you go to the show. After the show, you come back to your campsite. You sleep in the campsite. Saturday we party all day. You can go do your Metallica museum stuff that they have to it, and then Sunday you go to the show and you go home.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
because
Camp Calta.
I have another idea for that I think would be really cool.
Okay, all right. Well, so we're working on that. I don't know if that can happen, but that's what I'd like to do. If not, we will definitely or hopefully be set up for a tailgate there for both nights.
Right.
Oh, Camp
They'll have that.
So sweet.
I said, give me an RV. I'll just live there.
Yeah.
I'll live there for the weekend. I love Metallica sleds.
Gio,
It'll be a great time.
Yeah.
you have an RV.
Yes.
No. I want a real RV.
Oh.
I want one with like an upstairs.
Upstairs. Yeah. Just might as well go hotel room.
Yeah.
I do have a camper trailer.
I mean, I don't. Then park yours next to mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can come to my camp.
I love to camp.
All right.
Gio puts the R in RV.
Can't make a campfire though, because it's June.
No, you do campfire even in the summer.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's part of the thing.
course,
You know?
You don't know.
How else are you going to roast marshmallows?
Yeah, thank you,
How do
Carmen.
you cook your food?
Yeah.
Well, Uber Eats.
That's not
Okay.
camping.
Yeah, we're not really
No.
camping. We're not out in the woods. We're on Dale Mabry.
Oh.
How are you supposed to play Metallica jump into the fire when you don't have a fire?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Point.
Fight fire with fire.
Yes.
All right, you got some points. We got some things we could change. Well, why are we ending the show so early?
We can keep going.
My camper it sleeps like 6 people.
All right.
Oh,
I'm
really?
in.
All right, you guys be
I'll
in
bring
the
my
camper
sleeping
next to me. I'll be in the camper next to you.
Hell yeah.
My 2-story sleeping 3 people camper.
I'll sleep outside in my hammock.
Give them the choice.
Yeah.